It's kind of crazy that so many NBA teams' future rely on ping pong balls every May. And that's what's going to be happening in the 2025 draft lottery, that there's going to be 10 plus teams trying to get lucky to get Cooper Flag with the number one pick. But one team that doesn't really need all the luck in the world, even if they miss out on Cooper Flag, they are still going to have one of the best futures in the league for a long, long time, the San Antonio Spurs. And it's because of this man right here, Victor Wembanyama, who's 21 years old. So today we are going to be doing a very long San Antonio Spurs rebuild, basically playing through Victor Wembanyama's prime. So I'm thinking this is going to be around a 15-year rebuild. This team also made a kind of win now move, getting De'Aaron Fox at the deadline for probably 80 cents, 70 cents on the dollar, because he hinted to basically everybody that he was not re-signing with the Kings at the end of the 2026 season. Stephon Castle is most likely going to win Rookie of the Year here in 2025, and he was the 4th overall pick. Devin Vassell has been playing some good basketball as of late. You got Chris Paul, you got Keldon Johnson, you got former top 10 pick Jeremy Sohan on this team as well, and you also got some good draft capital moving forward from a DeJounte Murray trade, a Derek White trade, and should have some cap space as well. So the goal today is probably to win at least 5 NBA Finals with Victor Wembanyama. Like I said, Stephon Castle is a great complementary piece to Wemby. I do worry about this team's floor spacing over the course of time as well, because they don't have amazing shooters around Wemby right now. Fox is a little inconsistent. Sohan is definitely inconsistent. And then De'Aaron Fox, yeah, like I said, him and Castle could be inconsistent also. So this team did not make the playing tournament, which helps out us a ton, because that means we're going to have another chance at getting a very high draft pick. And we are rooting against the Atlanta Hawks. We need Orlando to beat them here, and that happens. Thank you very much, Orlando. Paolo Banchero drops 32 points because we do own the Atlanta Hawks first round pick. So Chicago, I am your biggest fan right now. I need you to go in there into Atlanta and beat the Hawks. I need Kobe White to go off. I need Josh Giddey to go off. And I don't think it's going to be in our favor. Nope, they are currently down by 29. Thanks a lot, Chicago. You could have just helped us out once, but I know they already helped us out already, orchestrating that 3-team trade that got De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. So we're going to have one lottery pick, which is ours, and then we're going to have a non-lottery pick from Atlanta. You have a rematch of last year's NBA Finals, and the Mavericks win in 7. I think it's safe to say that's not happening this year. So thankfully, Greg Popovich did not retire here at the end of the year, so we're going to bring him back for one more year. I think they'd be a good Taylor Jenkins team as well. He's got his ties to San Antonio, and let's see what happens here in the draft lottery. We have the 8th best odds at moving up into the top 4. Let's see what happens. Oh my God, the San Antonio Spurs do not get the most luck in the world, but they get some really good luck. We don't get number 1. Cooper Flag is most likely going to be a Wizard. We don't get number 2, but we land with the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft. And if you're talking about ceilings, there's about 3 guys here that have very high ceilings. Now, if Ace Bailey goes 2, I'm going to take Dylan Harper there at 3. I know it's not the biggest need in the world with Fox and Castle here, but we're going to go best player available. Now, if Harper goes 2, we could definitely think about Ace Bailey versus VJ Edgecombe, who's a better fit on this team. I do think we need to find a better long-term frontcourt partner than Jeremy Sohan. I just don't know if he's going to develop enough here into year number 4. I don't know if I'm going to pay him either. We do have this Keldon Johnson contract, which isn't great, but that can be orchestrated in a trade down the line. And I don't want to do anything too crazy right now. I think we could just stay the course and build internally. Charlotte Hornets at number 2, select Ace Bailey out of Rutgers, so they pass on Dylan Harper. I gotta go best player available, like I said. Do I give De'Aaron Fox $50 million a year? I don't know if I should right now. And then I'm going to take Asa Newell here at number 16, the pick from the Atlanta Hawks. He could be a backup power forward, and maybe he could be Wemby's front court partner in the future. And then with our 2nd round pick there at 38, I took Alex Tui over there from Sydney, and we'll see if he can be a good 3-point shooter at the NBA level. I'm not the biggest fan on him, but I just haven't really taken a chance on him yet in this. We're only going to do real draft classes for 25 and 26, starting 2027. We're going to do auto-generated ones. Jordan McLaughlin, I'm going to decline that option. Blake Wesley, I don't love it. I don't think he's going to play on this team next year, but I'm going to pick it up just in case we do need some extra money in a trade. And here we are in free agency. I wouldn't mind bringing back Chris Paul for a 1-year deal worth $12 million. He could be a good mentor to some of the younger guards as well. So let's look at this team before we end up making any more moves this offseason. I would like to add maybe another center. I don't know if that means I'm going to trade away Keldon Johnson or Harrison Barnes. We have plenty of wings at the moment. I don't think Devin Vassell is going to crater his value next year, even if it's a bad season. So we have plenty of guards. I'm going to make De'Aaron Fox a point guard again. And then even after bringing in Chris Paul, I'm going to try to get Clint Capella as a backup big man. It's a 1+1 if I want to pick up that team option next year. I wouldn't mind bringing back Sandro either to a 3-year deal but we are going to front load that contract as well. And let's bring back Charles Bassey. So we get Sandro back, and we are going to get Charles Bassey. I may need to cut some guys before the season starts. Harrison Ingram takes the qualifying offer. Riley Minix, I know those guys are probably getting cut. We see a lot of progression to this team. Stephon Castle already being an 88 overall is really exciting. I think his long-term fit is going to be at the 2 spot as a shooting guard, but we'll see. That could definitely be up in the air. I can't believe we got Dylan Harper. So yeah, I do need to release 4 guys before the season started. I don't know if we're going to make a trade, but Riley Minix is going to get cut. Harrison Ingram is going to get cut. I think I'm going to cut Blake Wesley. I could try to trade him, and then maybe Champagny could get traded as well, who I do like as a piece. It's just we have so many wings right now. Maybe I move Malachi Branham, who could definitely still be a good shooter in this league. I'm going to get 3 second-rounders from the Detroit Pistons for him, and I actually like that fit for him a ton. And then I'm going to trade Blake Wesley to Utah for a 2029 second. And here we are at the 2027 season, or excuse me, 2026 season. We could definitely make the playoffs this year. So there's going to be guys that are going to be getting minutes. Like Chris Paul is only going to get like 10 minutes a night. I do want Dylan Harper to play a ton. I don't think Charles Bassey is going to be the full-on backup center. I feel like that should probably be Clint Capella. But Clint Capella is only going to get like 15 minutes a night. We'll go 33 to Wemby for the regular season. We're going to go about 19 to Keldon Johnson. Like, this is definitely going to be the starting 5. Let's go 34 to Fox. We're going to go 34 to Castle. We could do 30 to Vassell, 26 to Sohan. We could stick at 33 to Wemby. Like I said, I don't want to run him into the ground. I think Asa Newell can get some minutes. He can get about 10 a night, and the rest can go to Harrison Barnes. Yeah, this is going to be a deep rotation this year. We're going to play a lot of guys. I want to evaluate what we got long term. And if I'm not going to extend him, I may move Jeremy Sohan at the deadline. All right, this team is already 43-9. I'm sensing a dynasty is on the horizon. De'Aaron Fox, like that 3-point shot is not there. 27% from 3, but is having a good year. Castle's efficiency's up, but the scoring is down, which makes sense. There's a lot of mouths to feed over here. Vassell's having a good year. Sohan, I think, like, we're 43-9 with him. So I don't know if I have to trade him, but I think we will explore a trade. We could kind of make a big move if we wanted to here. Oh, Chris Paul, man, it's an end of an era. Wait, also, we're on a 25-game winning streak. What? Oh my God, we've won 25 in a row. That is insane. We have a 15.6 point differential. Wow. I don't know if I'm ready for Asa Newell to be like a starter by any means, but I think we could try to see, like, any power forward we want on the open market, we can kind of get right now. Well, maybe not. Like, I'm not getting Giannis. I'm probably not getting Mobley right now. I mean, I wouldn't mind calling up Dallas to see if they'd be willing to move off of Anthony Davis. I would offer Harrison Barnes. I would offer Keldon Johnson. And I would offer Jeremy Sohan in a type of deal that I also could offer some picks in here. I would take on Kessler Edwards. I would take on Brandon Williams. Where are we at right now? Would you do anything with a counter? Kessler Edwards has a no trade clause. All right, you're going to make everything difficult, Kessler. So let's do OMP. Brandon Williams is a no trade clause. All right, maybe we're not getting Anthony Davis. Like, it's too tough to pull this off mid-season, I assume. Now, our draft pick situation, like, isn't the best in the world after the Fox trade, but we still have a lot of good first rounders over time. All right, so what I'm going to do is actually trade Harrison Barnes to the Utah Jazz for Kyle Kuzma, who probably won't even be in the rotation. I just wanted to parlay Harrison Barnes is $19 million expiring for somebody's expiring next year, which is Kyle Kuzma at $20 million, which I can include in a trade in the offseason. And I'm getting a second round pick for pulling this off as well. And I don't think I'm going to make any other moves before the season is over. Kyle Kuzma, like I said, is not going to crack the rotation. I'd rather see some of these other guys play than Kuzma, who, like I said, is going to get traded in the offseason. All right, so Luka Doncic ends up winning MVP for the LA Lakers this season, 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Cooper Flagg is your Rookie of the Year for the Washington Wizards. Josh Giddey's your Sixth Man of the Year. Wemby wins Depoy. Mobley Most Improved, and Anthony Edwards is your Clutch Player of the Year. And we do get Coach of the Year one last time in Popovich's career. Hey, maybe I'll get it more. 36 years in the NBA. We go 68-14. Wemby's not on All-NBA first team, but he is on All-NBA second team. The scoring has gone down, but 40% from 3, 2.7 blocks. And like I said, we're going to just ease him through the regular season and then turn it up a notch in the playoffs. Shout out to Bam, making it on All-NBA third team. A guy that I was trying to maybe trade for at the deadline this year. I also thought about Karl Anthony Towns as well, just to have a nice power forward that could space the floor, more so Cat. For Wemby, and obviously Wemby can space the floor, which allows Bam to play maybe under the rim. As Victor Wembanyama was on all defensive first team, and a player I feel like I haven't talked about a lot, Dylan Harper on all rookie first team, with Wemby on all defensive first team. So we are the 1 seed. We won 68 games. We're taking on the Sacramento Kings in round 1 of the playoffs. Yeah, this is a team that we should beat. It's funny, they got Draymond Green and Domantas Sabonis on the same team. De'Aaron Fox ended up being our leading scorer at the end of the year. We are going to trim down this rotation, though, for the playoffs. So I don't think Asa Newell is going to crack the rotation, but we'll see. I honestly don't think Chris Paul is going to crack the rotation either, which is kind of sad. So maybe Newell will crack the rotation. 10 minutes a night. We're going to go, I think, make Dylan Harper the 6th man. He's going to get about 20 minutes a night. Let's go 15 to Johnson, 15 to Capella. Honestly, let's go 13 to Capella. We're going to go 35 to Wemby. We're going to go 25 to Sohan. It's just kind of disappointing this year. Vassell could get 35. Castle's going to get 38. Fox is going to get 40, which means I got about 9 minutes left. Maybe we play Newell a little bit more, and maybe I end up playing Keldon Johnson a little bit more. So we are 4-star defense under Greg Popovich. We're taking on the Kings in round 1, a team we should sweep. We only won by 1 in game 1. Okay. Is that going to set the tone for the series? 3-0. 4-0, and we are going to advance to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves here in round number 2. Wemby with 26 and 13, Fox with 24, Castle with 20, and Vassell with 16. And we're taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves here in round number 2, a team we should beat. Let's see if we can advance to the conference finals. Oh, wow, we do. Okay, we won in 7. We ended up winning by 17. Wemby had 42 points and 13 in game 7. He's here, man. He really is here. In round number 2, Wemby averaged 24 points, 12 rebounds, and he averaged 4.1 stocks a night. That is kind of incredible. Also, one thing I feel like I should have did earlier was change Keldon Johnson to a small forward, where he does go up to an 84. And it's just funny how young cores work as well, because at one point, Keldon Johnson was the most exciting young asset on this team. At one point, that was also like Derek White back in 2019. And then at one point, it was Devin Vassell. At one point, it was Jeremy Sohan. But nobody's ever going to be more exciting than Wemby, and then eventually it'll be Castle and whoever comes through the pipeline again. We're taking on a very good Thunder team. I mean, the Thunder team in 2025, one of the best teams of all time. Let's see if we can beat them here in 2026 and advance to the NBA Finals. We were up 2-0. We go up 3-1. Oh my God. So Minnesota gave us a tougher test, and we're taking on the Detroit Pistons here in the NBA Finals. I'd like Cade Cunningham to maybe team up with Wemby one day. As De'Aaron Fox, though, said, why are you saying that, Matt? I averaged 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists here in the conference finals. He's about to get a nice payday this offseason. All right, let's get here into the NBA Finals to take on the Pistons, in which we win Game 1, 116-115. Vassell drops 27. Game 2 goes to the Spurs, 92-83. Game number 3 goes to the Detroit Pistons, 117-115. So this is a similar vibe to round number 2, as Castle's been great for us in the playoffs. Game number 4, Pistons tie it up, man. They blow us out here. Cade with 38. I think for the for the rest of the series, maybe we go like 10 to Capella. Let's go 38 to Wemby, which I don't know if that's smart. Game 5 goes to San Antonio, 127-109, and we are 1 game away from winning the finals in just year number 2. Bang, there we go. And I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface with this team yet. Wemby averages 21, 11, and 4, and he averaged 6.8 stocks. 6.8. That is like a 99 demigod in 2K, like my player, and he's averaging that here in year number 2. And I feel like we can upgrade at the 3. We can upgrade the bench. We can upgrade power forward. So like I said, I don't even think we've scratched the surface. And I got Chris Paul a ring. That makes me feel even better about this. I overrided LeBron's retirement last year, so I can't do it this offseason. DeMar DeRozan, Spurs legend, ends up retiring. Some other Spurs legends retired as well, like Corey Joseph and Bismack Biyombo. And it's fitting, man. Greg Popovich goes out on top and gets another ring. Chris Paul goes to the Hall of Fame as well. So we are going to be looking for a new head coach that I would like to keep throughout this whole rebuild. We do have an Atlantis first round pick there. It's at number 10. This is the last draft with real prospects. And then we're going to go into auto-generated guys. And we do not get lucky. I feel like that would be a little bit greedy. We get the 10th overall pick. Hey, winning it all and still getting the 10th overall pick. That's nice. It was a swap with Atlanta. The Suns get the number 1 overall pick. They can use it. I don't know if Taylor Jenkins is going to be here, but I feel like he'd be the perfect successor to Greg Popovich, but he is not here. So we're going to offer a bunch of deals. I don't know about Charles Lee, but we can offer Kenny Atkinson, who I think came from the Spurs tree like Popovich, but I could be wrong. Borrego, I believe, came from this tree. He's probably going to get blocked, though. Dagno got let go. All right, I'm going to offer him a job. We'll offer Will Hardy a job, and I'm going to offer Nick Nurse a job as well. So we do end up getting Hardy, Donovan, or Atkinson. I think I'm going to choose Kenny Atkinson to be the next guy for us going forward. He actually started off his career in New York, and it wasn't Popovich that I was thinking of. It was Budenholzer in Atlanta, and I believe Budenholzer came from Pop's tree. I don't know. I could be wrong. I wish I knew my head coaching trees a little bit better. So we are going to land a nice prospect there at number 10. I do want to value that 4-year rookie deal. Sandro, honestly, up to an 80 overall. He could definitely crack the rotation next year. I think we're going to look to make some moves. And Kenny Atkinson is going to make a move with me, the general manager, to get one of his former players, DeAndre Hunter, who was in the last year of his deal. He's not making a ton of money. I think he will cost less than $25 million on the new extension. Better than I think going out and giving somebody like $40 million in the trade market. I do have to eat Max Struess's money here in this deal, but I'm giving them Kyle Kuzma's expiring, Keldon Johnson, and pick 32 in this year's draft that we got from Utah. I think in the Wesley deal. Or no, I actually think we just own that pick in general. So I'm actually going to trade all 3 of my second rounders to Atlanta for pick 30. Would they do that? And they will. So I'm going to get one last player on a 4-year rookie contract. AJ DeBonsa goes to the Suns at number 1. The Knicks take Cameron Boozer at number 2. And the Hornets get Darren Peterson at number 3. The consensus top 3 right now, with Nate Ament pretty much being number 4. Chris Sinaku's going to Houston, goes 5. And it's cool we got to see these guys on a national stage with the All-American game, or the McDonald's All-American game just happening, as the Hornets got the 5th pick for Koa Pete. It's a good deal. And we're on the clock here at number 10. It's funny because I think Darius Sikoff could be the best point guard in this class, but I just don't need another guard, so I don't really want Malik Thomas, who's going to Arkansas. Jasper Johnson, no. Like, JQ, who's entering the transfer portal at Arizona State, might be the guy here, because I don't really want to take any other point guards. So let's take Jaden Quintans here from Arizona State, and might be for a new team next year. He did suffer a major injury, though, in real life, which kind of stunk. So I'm going to actually draft Drake Powell. I do see Bryce James. Let's draft Bryce James out of Arizona. He's probably not going to be a first rounder in 2026, but it's kind of cool. So let's sign JQ and Bryce James to San Antonio. We're going to sell some jerseys there. Wemby, Castle. Do I want to pick up Capella's option? Maybe, if I trade for a power forward. Champagny and Tui can come back. All those guys could be included in deals. So, and we're going to give the qualifying offer to, but there's a chance he is in a sign and trade. But we do have to work out an extension with De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be, I think, realistic. We'll do about $200 million for 5 years. Yep, that's going to go up every year. That's going to be a massive deal. 5 years, $232 million, actually. I feel like that's semi-realistic. I actually think DeAndre Hunter could be our starting power forward next year. Like I said, I don't want to do anything kind of crazy right now. So I'm going to offer, like, kind of Lobo Sohan a 4-year deal worth $53 million, and he accepts it. So, like, that's an asset we could definitely move over time as well. And I don't think I need to sign anybody else, because we got plenty of big men on the roster for the season, plenty of wings. I may have to cut some guys. So, play progression, Wemby's at a 98, Castle's at a 92, Harper's at an 85, Fox is there at an 87. Vassell's starting to regress a little bit, but I'm in no rush to move him. I'm probably gonna have to get rid of some guys before the season starts. I think I'm gonna go Vassell at the 3, Hunter at the 4. So we can lock up Wemby. Let's just do it. We know it's inevitable. So we're going to give him, honestly, it's going to be over 200 million. It's basically going to be around what De'Aaron Fox got on that rookie extension. DeAndre Hunter, I think we can honestly work out a deal right now. Like, let's front load it a little bit before our cap sheet really gets hit. And I think it's going to be a 3-year deal, and he's going to accept that. Do I have to release anybody before the season starts? Yes, it's got to be one player, which I think is going to be our second-round pick last year, Alex Tui, unfortunately. So that was like a top 10 pick in the second round. Didn't really work out. So who do I want to crack this rotation this year? Like, I don't mind Charles Bassey. He could end up taking it from Clint Capella at one point. So maybe I go like 8 minutes to these guys, so that's around 16. Therefore, I'm going to have, I think, Wemby get like 32 minutes throughout the regular season. I could care less about an MVP right now. It's more so just keeping him fresh. We're going to go like, I do want to start Hunter. Vassell's there, and then Harper's going to be the 6th man, around 25 minutes a night. And then eventually when Harper has to get paid, maybe that's when we move on from Fox, who's going to get 36 minutes. Castle's going to get 36 as well. Vassell can get 28. Let's go about 30 to Hunter. I should probably go more to Wemby. So Wayne's going to get like 17 minutes a night, and I've got about 19 minutes left. See, like, I don't think JQ, he's so young. I don't think he's going to play yet for this team, because we got Bassey, we got Capella. I'm going to go about 13 to Asa Newell. And do I want any of these guys getting minutes? Honestly, we can give Julian Champagny 6 minutes a night throughout this season. 4-star pace and space. I'm taking things slow. We just want a title. No need to just run these guys into the ground. And we are 37-14. Not as good as 43-9 from last year's trade deadline, but we are 8-2 in our last 10. The Dallas Mavericks have a better point differential than us because they got a healthy AD and Kyrie Irving. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a move this year at the deadline. Like, I definitely could. Fox is averaging about 23.5 points. Wemby's averaging 23 points. He's still getting around 35 minutes a night. There's Dylan Harper off the bench. Stephon Castle, okay, keeping an eye on the shooting splits. Vassell's 35 from 3. Hunter's 42% from 3. And I know his scoring numbers aren't there, but I do think he's worth it on both ends of the floor as a connecting piece for this team. Sohan's been a little bit better off the bench. There's Asa Newell, who taking a little bit of strides here in year number 2. And I'm going to be trading Charles Bassey, who is a free agent at the end of the year, as well as Clint Capella and a 2027 second for Isaiah Joe from the Indiana Pacers. And we're also getting Obi Toppin in this deal as well, who's making $15 million next year. So I don't know if Isaiah Joe is going to crack that rotation, or he might, because I do want to get a little bit more shooting in here. So him and Obi are going to get around 10 minutes a night. And Asa Newell could play a little bit of the backup 5 spot. I think next year JQ is going to be the full-on backup big man. So Wemby gets an MVP already in year number 4. 23 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and then he averaged 4.7 stocks a night. AJ DeBansa is your rookie of the year. Jaden Ivey is your 6th man of the year. Wemby takes home Depoy, and Jabari Smith Jr. is your most improved. Obviously, Wemby's going to be on All-NBA first team after winning MVP. We do not get De'Aaron Fox on another team. That would have been nice. Wemby is on all defensive first team. I know we're in the same division, but I'd love to get Amen Thompson on this team at one point. And what's nice about Wemby, like, I think he's better suited at the 5, but if there was ever a guy that is more comfortable at the 5, I can easily make Wemby a 4. And the Thunder actually passed us and Dallas for the 1 seed here in the Western Conference. It is a 3-headed race between us, OKC, and Dallas. The Indiana Pacers are the 1 seed over there in the East, so maybe Clint Capella or Charles Bassey is going to get a ring when it's all said and done. Good years from Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper. I don't know if they're a little redundant to have on this team. I could make Stephon Castle a small forward eventually. Like, he's up to a 94 overall, which is kind of insane. All right, so we have a tough test in round number 1. We are taking on the Houston Rockets, a good young team that I mentioned I would like. I mean, at this point, they're still young. Like, Amen Thompson's only 24 years old. Şengün at the 5. They got Boogie Flan, former Arkansas point guard, at the 1. They could definitely use a long-term point guard as well. I don't know. They could just play some guys out of position. But Wemby and Fox go for 66. Also forgot to show you, we're basically going to have like a bunch of different power forwards off the bench. That we definitely have to clear that up in the offseason. Let's go 38 to these guys and 36 to Wemby. Game number 2. We are going to win. Let's just see if we can get out of round number 1. And we do. We are still alive to go back-to-back, something that hasn't been done since the 2018-19 or 2017-2018 Warriors, because the Boston Celtics did lose last year to the Dallas Mavericks, who were taken on in round number 2, and they've added Khalil Ware along the way. So Fox is averaging 29, Wemby 26, Castle 24 in the playoffs so far out of round number 1. That's electric. I think we should beat the Mavericks, but yep, we end up winning in 6. I was going to say, I think the Rockets were a little bit better on paper. And in round number 2, like, Wemby only had 21 points. Harper had 14 off the bench. Castle had 14 in 37 minutes. And we're taking on the Thunder here in the conference finals. They've added DeAndre Ayton. Really don't know about that fit along the way. But they still have a good team led by one of the best players in the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They go up 2-0. That might be the defeat for us. Kenny Atkinson can't get past, I guess, the OKC Thunder here. Ugh, a lot of stinkers here in the conference finals. I mean, we're going up against one of the best defenses in the NBA in OKC, and they actually sweep us, which is kind of embarrassing. I feel like Indiana always goes to the NBA finals in 2026, and here they are, or 2027, and they end up sweeping the Thunder, which is kind of shocking. And Clint Capella gets a ring. I guess Charles Bassey gets a ring as well. They drafted Rasheer Fleming. And yeah, there goes our streak. We did win in 2026, but we lose it in 2027. Not going to panic. Still going to stay the course and build this team. I don't know about internally, but I don't know. Kevin Durant ends up retiring. I think I could get a little trade happy this offseason. We'll see. We do have Atlanta's lottery pick there at number 12. I think that's going to be it. So that pick ends up staying there at number 12. So, hey, we made it to the conference finals, and we do have to give away our first-round pick there at 29 to the Sacramento Kings, but that is the last asset from the DeJounte Murray deal. All right, I think I'm going to try to trade for Scotty Barnes, and we're going to be going from Vassell to Barnes. I'm going to also include Obi Toppin in this deal. I'm also going to include, I don't think JQ needs to be in this deal, maybe Bryce James. Would I rather move Bryce James to Sandro? Sandro might have some value, even though he hasn't really played for us. So, could I just do a 3-for-1? Do they like Vassell that much? Oh my god, yes. Scotty Barnes only being 4 stars kind of alerted to me that, like, yeah, they don't really feel great about his, like, contract going forward. And yeah, we're going to add Scotty Barnes to this team. I'm excited for him to be a secondary piece around Wemby going forward. And yeah, he is making a lot of money. We kept Jeremy Sohan, who's one of the longest tenured Spurs on this team now after we moved Devin Vassell. And the number 1 overall pick of the 2027 draft, like I said, it's not a real player. Oh my god. What? Tyler Wembanyama. Now, I have seen some auto-generated players with the name Wemby before. That is crazy. He's from Syracuse, New York, or at least went to school there. 82 overall at 18 years old. All right, we're going to have Wemby versus Wemby here in the NBA. So Marshall Ellis went there, number 2, 6'11" big out of San Fran. Shout out Bill Russell. You got Matt Hodges from Arizona going there at number 3. I drafted Wesley Ford, a 6'6", or Floyd, excuse me, 6'6" wing out of Marquette. We got Peter Jukic there out of Croatia in the second round. I'm going to throw these guys on 2-way deals. We are going to pick up the team options on these guys. Stephon Castle is going to have a nice payday next offseason. We're going to be a pretty deep tax team already with like the Fox, Castle, extensions, and obviously Wemby's getting paid and Scotty Barnes is getting paid as well. We're going to pick up Max Strus on the minimum, but that might be it. I'm going to renounce the rights on Isaiah Joe and Julian Champagnie. Can't afford them. So right now we do have De'Aaron Fox. We have decent amount of shooting guards. We got some small forwards. We got some power forwards, and we got some centers. I think I may just add like one more center right now. Draymond Green, Quinn Post. I like Chris Boucher on a 1-year deal. Him and Scotty Barnes know each other very well. Now they're in San Antonio. Giannis stays in Milwaukee. Jokic stays in Denver. Kat stays in New York. All right, so going into next year, I mean, this is a team that should be able to compete for an NBA title once again. And like I said, every single year of having Wemby on this team. And we are going to give Stephon Castle 4 years, $160 million on his extension. So yeah, this team is very expensive. I'm going to look at its salary cap table right now. So I think we have this window before the Harper extension kicks in, which isn't going to be till 2030. I mean, that'll be the last year of Scottie Barnes' deal, where it goes up to $51 million. Yeah, like this core four, this might be the last time of it going forward. So I would like to see what at least Bryce James can do this year in the rotation. So he's going to get around 10 minutes a night. Asa Newell's going to get around 15. JQ is going to get 14. So ain't about 18. Dylan Harper off the bench, 28 minutes a night. I mean, this is actually kind of tough because there's a bunch of guys that I want to play. So I think DeAndre Hunter may get like 25 minutes a night. That's a contract that I may need to move in the offseason. So Luka Doncic ends up winning MVP this year for the Chicago Bulls. So yeah, he's got 2 MVPs right now, one with the Bulls and one with the Lakers. Tyler Wembanyama. Oh yeah, so they got Luka and they got Ty Wembanyama, Jaden Ivey, 6th man of the year in Indiana. Wemby wins Depoy, Cameron Boozer most improved, and then Jason Tatum is your clutch player of the year. So Wemby ends up on All-NBA first team. He averaged 4 stocks a night, shot 40% from 3 this year. Cooper Flag is over there in the nation's capital. And here's All-NBA third team with Jason Tatum on that. Wemby obviously all defensive first team, and that is going to be it for us, it looks like. So we do end the year as a 1 seed. Last year we were the 2 seed. We lost in the conference finals. We had the best point differential in the NBA with 54 wins. Our defense was pretty elite. It was top 3 in the West, and our offense was really good as well, finishing number 2 in the West. So we didn't have the best offense nor the best defense, but we were pretty close to the top in each department. I invested a lot into Scottie Barnes. I mean, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.2 stocks. If I could just get 1 ring with him, I'm okay with it. So for the playoffs, Bryce James will not be getting any minutes. I feel like I should pick between Newell or Sohan. I'm going to probably play Sohan 15 minutes a night. Let's go 10 to Newell. Let's go about 12 minutes a night to JQ. I think Dylan Harper can get 28. Let's go 36 to Wemby. And then we could do 36 to Barnes. Let's do 34 to Castle. We could do probably 38 to Fox. And let's do 31 to DeAndre Hunter. So we're taking on the Rockets here in round number 1, a team that we have beat in the playoffs before. They got Boogie Flan still at the 1, and they got Darius Cuff coming off the bench, one of the best point guards in that 2026 draft, and we are going to sweep them in round number 1. We're going to go from one Texas team to another, and we're going to be taking on the Dallas Mavericks here in round number 2. So this Dallas Mavericks team has 2 number 1 overall picks there in the front court. They have Grayson Allen, Dosunmu, and Kyrie Irving around them. So let's see. Yep, we beat them. It's pretty much been kind of the same teams we're going up against in the Western Conference, and that makes sense between, I would say, the Thunder and the Spurs. If I would say the next likely team to be like up there with those teams going forward, I would say Houston, Minnesota with Anthony Edwards. So you never really know. Here are the stats going here into the conference finals to take on the Thunder, a team that beat us last year. And if Cleveland wins in the ECF and we win, Kenny Atkinson is going to have his revenge. We're up 3-0. And we swept them. So the addition of Scottie Barnes is looking pretty good. Taking on the Atlanta Hawks here in the NBA Finals. They got Kasparis and Khan in the backcourt. Reese Ashe and Triple J on the perimeter. And then Okongwu down low. I mean, they have a good bench, too, of Jalen Johnson, Ty Jerome, Trey Mann, and Goga Badatse. It would have been cool to take on Cleveland. We win game 1. We win game 2. Okay, they're going to have no match for us. Wow, what a playoff run. We go 16-1. And Wemby gets his 2nd finals MVP of this video. So we didn't win last year, but we won in 2026. That is ring number 2. We got 3 more to go to reach my goal of 5 before this video started. There goes Chris Boucher getting the 2nd ring of his career because he did win with Toronto on that 2019 team. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, we may get a top 5 pick after winning it all. From not even a pick I've acquired in this video. This is from the Derek White trade, as the Boston Celtics weren't very good this year. It does drop from 3 to 5. But yeah, we have a swap with them, and we just won it all. And that's what I guess the San Antonio Spurs' front office was banking on when they made that trade. So we are going to add another young piece to this team. And I think I want to consolidate some of these 2nd rounders as well. All right, so I'm going to actually try to make a trade here. We're going to trade 4 2nd round picks and DeAndre Hunter for pick number 6. I would like to keep Hunter, but that means I would move Sohan instead. And let's see if Charlotte would do this trade. And they are going to agree to that. So yeah, it's an end of an era of Sohan here in San Antonio. But we do have JQ. We do have Asa Newell. I didn't really need him on the team. So now we have picks 5 and 8 in this draft. Steven Spencer looks pretty good. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. But I do think we should get a good wing where we're picking. As Frederick Frazier from A&M goes number 1 overall. So here are the 4 guys that went ahead of us. Spencer did go there at number 3. Carl Hawkins was somebody I was targeting. Kind of upset he didn't make it to where I was picking. So I'm going to go Javon Forrest here, a 6'6" guard out of Ohio State. The last shooting guard in San Antonio didn't really work out. That was Malachi Branham. There goes Jeremy Morrison. And there goes Jess Lawson. I think neither of those guys I was targeting. I was actually targeting Ben Taylor, who's a 6'4 shooting guard, 19 years old, out of NC State. So yeah, NC State is the main player we got back for Jimmy Show, and hopefully he works out. We are going to develop these guys and Floyd of last year. We're going to pick up the option on Bryce James, but yeah, we're going to have some big financial decisions to make very soon. But if I can't bring back Scotty Barnes, like that's going to be a guy or those rookies are going to need to play some notable minutes for us, because I'm looking at this team right now and Harper does have that rookie extension kicking in next year. Scotty Barnes has 2 years left. I feel like I may have to trade Scotty next offseason. I also wonder about Asa Newell, if I'm going to be able to afford him. And who knows, I may move DeAndre Hunter next offseason, but we're okay right now financially. We also completed or created a $13 million trade option with that Sohan trade, as Dyson Daniels goes to the Lakers. Technically, the team that drafted him. Well, not really, but it was the pick that the Lakers sent the Pelicans in an Anthony Davis trade, and they were able to use it on Dyson Daniels in that 2022 draft. Wemby's now a 99 overall and has a damn good supporting cast around him. All right, I'm going to try to buy in low here on Asa Newell. I'm going to give him a 4-year extension worth $48 million, and hopefully that does pay dividends over time. DeAndre Hunter may have to get traded next offseason because Dylan Harper's about to get a massive deal. Yeah, you can see that negative $141 million in cap space. I'm probably going to have to move Scotty Barnes next offseason, or De'Aaron Fox if we wanted to go that route as well, which could make sense to complete the starting 5. So I'm going to go about 10 minutes to Bryce James, 10 to Wesley Floyd. I want to see what he can do this year. Let's go about 16 to Asa Newell. Actually, yeah, let's do about 15 to JQ, which means we're going to do 33 to Wemby, 28 to Harper. I'd like for him to get 6 man of the year one year. Let's go more minutes to Scotty Barnes, Stephon Castle. And I think, honestly, we can go 35 to Barnes, 35 to Castle, 35 to Fox. And I want to see more Asa Newell this year because he may play more for us going forward. And we have 4.5 star pace and space. Kenny Atkinson got his first ring with us last year. All right, so this team is 29 and 22 at the moment, which isn't as good as where we've been in the past. So what I could do is either trade Dylan Harper for maybe a haul, or that's going to come in the offseason, but I just feel like he's going to end up being James Harden 2.0. I think what we may do is we're going to bench or trade away DeAndre Hunter right now, as I'm really just looking for matching salary in a first-round pick, which I don't really know if I'm going to find right now, so maybe I'm not going to make any moves at this year's deadline. So shout out to Evan Mobley getting an MVP award this year, puts up a career high in points, and averages 23 a night for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I wonder if they moved on from some guys, as Brandon Lewis, a 6'1 guard from Syracuse, I guess he was Ty Wembanyama's point guard over there, ends up getting Rookie of the Year. So Dylan Harper finally gets 6 man of the year. He really is on that James Harden trajectory right now. Wemby with another D point to his resume, and Billy Donovan of the Cavs gets Coach of the Year. All-NBA first team, no shockers, especially with Mobley winning MVP now. There's All-NBA second team, and no Spurs on All-NBA third team. That's All-NBA third team numbers from Lee McNeely. I mean, he averaged 8.5 assists, which is kind of insane. And we did finish with our lowest seed in a while. We are the 3 seed here in the Western Conference, 51 and 31, but we are coming off a finals victory last year after sweeping the Atlanta Hawks. So I don't know if this is going to be the end of an era of this team, but guys are getting expensive, guys are getting older, and we may look to make some notable moves this offseason. So we are going to rock with this, I think, lineup. What I may actually do is start Asa Newell over DeAndre Hunter. Actually, no, I want to start Hunter. So I think Hunter, I actually may reverse that and play him more minutes tonight. So Bryce James, not going to play for us in the playoffs. He didn't have a great year. Wesley Floyd, also not the best year as well. JQ is going to get 13 minutes tonight. Wemby's going to get 35. I think I may just go with the 8-man bench. Hunter's going to get 25. Let's actually go 37, 30, 37, 37 there. We can go, honestly, like 40 to Scotty Barnes. Let's just see what he can do, because this could also be like a last dance or a resume for him in the offseason, or a job interview, basically, for us going forward. All right. We played Houston so many times in the playoffs. Maybe they're finally figuring us out. We are down 3 games to 1. Scotty's 37 from the field. DeAndre Hunter's 38 from the field. And we are going to force a game 6. We force a game 7. So here we go. I think this is one of our first game 7s. Maybe we had one with Minnesota at one point. We outscored them by 9 in the first quarter. In the second, we get outscored by 6. Third quarter, we get outscored by 9. Are we going to come back and win this game? 124 apiece. Let's see. We're up by 1. Down by 1, 71 seconds to go. All right, so we luckily have the ball. De'Aaron Fox got 20 points, 5 rebounds, and he has 8 assists. I assume they're going to be doubling Wemby, even guarded by Şengün. It's not like it's a mismatch, but it's Wemby after all. Are they not doubling? All right, Wemby, just go up with him with the right hand. Okay, dude, you're like eye level with the hoop, and you're going to miss that. All right, Scotty, get back on D. Scotty with no help defense whatsoever. Cam Whitmore goes coast to coast. Just like that, it's a 3-point game. Like this lineup out here, who do I call a 3-point play for? DeAndre Hunter? I don't like that. And I say I don't like that, and we're going to try it. DeAndre Hunter 3-ball. Going to him in the clutch was kind of stupid, and he bricks the... Well, he doesn't brick it, but does not fall. Stephon Castle... All right, guarding Cam Whitmore. Two former Big East guys. Let's see what happens. We got 15 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to try to get the post up. What are we doing? That's an easy steal there for Castle. Wemby, get out of the way. We got to score quickly. Castle to the rim. No foul call, but he does complete the tough layup. Down by 1. All right, Bobby Portis over to Darius Cuff. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to foul. All right, so we're down by 3. Fox. Okay, I kind of want to see Wemby take a 3 here, but it's really tough to get him open. Fox, okay, kick that out to DeAndre. And one more in the corner for Wemby. Come on, Wemby, give me that. Wemby, bang, let's go. He ties up the game. He's got 27 points. The Rockets do not have a timeout. Scotty with the steal. He got him in the air. Oh, my God. Scotty with the steal. Oh, no. Oh my God, that is so bad. And we are going to be getting out of round number 1. My God, Scotty Barnes may earn himself a place in Spurs history. Gets the steal off the inbound, got Bobby Portis in the air, and gave us the game-winning bucket. Are you kidding me? I'm just happy I didn't choke that game. The Rockets choked so hard right there. Yeah, I would not want to be in the city of Houston after that one. So we're taking on Minnesota. They got Dante DiVincenzo at the point guard spot. They got a French front court of Ousmane Dieng and Noah Essengay. Interesting strategy. They got a 35-year-old Bradley Beal on their team. I feel like we could beat them and go to the conference finals. We're up 2-1. We're tied 2-2. We're up 3-2. Are we going to win in 6 or are we going to back-to-back game 7s? We are going to back-to-back game 7s. Here we go. Winner takes on the OKC Thunder, who I'm not sure if they have a ring. I feel like they should by now, but they maybe are still looking for their first one in this save. And we are going to, oh, don't choke this game 7 lead. Oh, man. Oh, man. Back and forth. Lead change after lead change. The Timberwolves outscored us by 8, but Wemby is inevitable. He drops 40 points. Edwards had 48, and we're taking on the Thunder here in the conference finals. So we are looking for our 3rd ring here. The Thunder are still looking for their first. Knicks and Hornets over on the east side. We're up 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 us. Do not blow a 3-1 lead. And we get the Thunder's number yet again. We're taking on LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets here in the NBA Finals. They have Ace Bailey at the 2, who I thought I was going to be drafting originally. Instead, it ended up being Dylan Harper. They also have Darren Peterson, Mikal Bridges, and oh yeah, Jeremy Sohan as well. They actually won game 1 by 5. They have Koa Pete. They have a really good team. If I actually went to their roster here, I feel like they might have a few 90 overalls. Like, it's going to look pretty. Yeah, 490 overalls. Pete's not far behind. They have Harrelson. They've done a nice rebuild over there in Charlotte. We win game 2. We lose game 3. We win game 4. We win game 5. And we are going to our 3rd game 7 here in round 1, in round 2, and here in round number 4 of the NBA Finals. Are we going to beat the Hornets? We are down by double digits. We're down by 23. Wow, this is going to be a little bit of a shocker. The Charlotte Hornets are going to blow us out by 21 points in Game 7 of the Finals. I thought we were built for that after beating the Rockets in Game 7. Wemby drops 40, and we beat the Timberwolves in Game 7. But the Hornets actually beat us and rob us of our 3rd title. That sucks. I actually thought there was a chance we were going to sweep them. Dame, Kawhi, and Steph all head to the Hall of Fame. Draft lottery, we are going to be selecting 23rd overall in this draft. Kind of cool. The Nets are picking at 18, 19, and 20. All right, so we're going to start off this offseason by trading away DeAndre Hunter in the last year of his deal for a 2031 unprotected Denver pick, a team we haven't really faced in the playoffs. I got better offers from Houston and OKC, but we've seen them in the playoffs all the time. I don't want to make them better and give them DeAndre Hunter. So I'm going to be getting Barry Moore, a former top 10 overall pick back in 2028, but hasn't played yet. Scotty Barnes has 1 year left in his deal. De'Aaron Fox has 2 years left in his deal. But we're about to pay Dylan Harper a ton of money. Who do I move? And for positional value, and since we have Dylan Harper, I'm going to make an unprecedented trade. I hate trading him within the conference, and I know the Lakers and Spurs don't make a lot of trades to begin with, but we are going to try to trade De'Aaron Fox to the Lakers for 3 future unprotected first-round picks. De'Aaron Fox is still a very good point guard, but we got Dylan Harper in the wings. They're actually going to say no to that. Wow. So what about if I rerouted Barrymore, who we just got in the DeAndre Hunter trade? I want to say like Drew Barrymore when I say that name. They're going to agree to that. So we just got 3 first-round picks. So the number 1 overall pick was Stuart Dudley, a 7-foot center out of UCLA. Hey, shout out Bill Walton, shout out Louis Alcindor. So we had a bunch of picks here. I took Homer Ferguson in the first round. St. John, or Johnny there, Red Storm with the 23rd pick. We got Tony Byard out of Georgia Tech. We got Victor Green, who I'm going to throw on the, can I throw him on a 2A? Can't. Damian Miles and Randall Towns. I'm going to sign all of them, but I may have to cut some of them. And this team is going to look a little bit different next year. No DeAndre Hunter anymore. No Dylan Harper. This could also be the last year of Scotty Barnes, as he's going to be a free agent very soon. So I'm going to ink up a extension with Dylan Harper. Could it be $200 million across 5 years? Will he accept that? Nope, he's going to take the Nuggets off for 3 years, 132. That's fine. And I'm also going to give AJ Mitchell a 3-year deal. Hopefully he accepts it. Yeah, worth $11 million. He pretty good. And he develops well in 2K. So going into next year, we're going to have, I think, Dylan Harper at the 1, Stephon Castle at the 2. We have all these former first-round picks I want to get minutes to next year. And then we have Barnes, who may be at the 3, with Asa Newell starting at the 4. So I'm going to make Scotty Barnes a small forward. He goes up. I'm going to make Dylan Harper a point guard. He goes down. So Wemby's regressing. Not really sure if I agree with that at 25 years old. All right, just trying to see if there's any extensions we can ink up this offseason. I may let Scotty hit the open market. JQ, that's a lot of money. I'm not affording that. Bryce James, what? Why do you want that much money? And I do need to release somebody before the season starts. I'm actually going to trade away Bryce James, I think. I know he's been improving every year, but I'm not going to give him what he wants in free agency. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to hold him on for now, and we'll see how he improves this year. I think I'm going to release Victor Green, a former second rounder. All right, so we're going to go a 10-man rotation, and this is what the bench is going to look like. I want to see who's going to step up between Bryce, Floyd, JQ, Ben Taylor, Javon Forrest, and AJ Mitchell. Pretty much all former first-round picks outside of the most recent one, Homer Ferguson, and that's what the lineup is going to look like. We start off the season 1-2. We did beat the Rockets, lose to the Pelicans. I hope to see different teams here in the playoffs and not just the Rockets, the Mavericks, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves every year. All right, so we are much better this year at the deadline. We are 37-13, or excuse me, 37-12. We have a 10-point differential, which is second in the NBA behind the team that beat us in the NBA Finals last year. The Charlotte Hornets, who are starting Jeremy Sohan at the 5 spot. And Wemby is leading the team in scoring, followed by Dylan Harper, Scotty Barnes, Stephon Castle. Pretty much just been what he's kind of been, like around 15 points a game for most of his career. Asa Newell's been getting better, but that 3-point shot I don't think is ever coming around. Bryce James, I think, is somebody we could look to move at the deadline just to free up some minutes going forward. First deal I'm going to do is trade away my 2030 first for a 2033 first, and I'm going to be swapping Bryce James for Herman Green, who is a 6'6" wing, former 3rd overall pick. So we're going to do that, and we're able to use a trade exception that we got a couple off seasons ago, or I believe from the DeAndre Hunter trade. I thought about moving Wemby to the 4, and then we got JQ at the 5, but he's going to ask for so much money in free agency. So I want to see if I can move JQ for Jalen Smith and the Grizzlies first round pick this year. They're going to say no to that. I would give you, I don't want to give you the Lakers first rounder this year. I will give you my first rounder in 2031. They don't want to do that. All right, that's fine. What about if I got your 2032 first from Portland and this first rounder? So 2 first rounders for, I don't know why Jalen Smith is 3-star trade value. It's kind of silly. So they say no. I don't really have many other stuff to like deal in this trade. I guess just getting 1 first round pick is going to be enough, sadly. JQ has high potential. I'm just not giving him $40 million a year. So they're going to say no to that. Wow. All right, maybe we're going to do a sign and trade with him in the offseason. So Cameron Boozer from the 2026 draft class wins MVP with the New York Knicks. Alton Newman, the 26th overall pick out of TCU in the 27 draft, wins Rookie of the Year for the Denver Nuggets. Amen Thompson takes Depoy from Wemby. That's how good he is. And shout out to Jaxa Lenenberg, winning Most Improved. Definitely deserves that award, although the efficiency isn't great. The Hornets head coach, Owen Taylor, gets Coach of the Year as, that's crazy, 2 Wembanyamas. Is my goal in this video to trade for Tyler Wembanyama? Maybe it is, because we are the 1 seed here in the Western Conference, taking on the 8-seeded Phoenix Suns, who went 41-41. They still have Devin Booker over there. So the Chicago Bulls are the 2 seed. Can he shoot threes? Oh my God, he can. All right, I mean, it's going to be impossible to trade for him. He's going to have like 5 stars, but hey, I've never backed down from a challenge before. So this is going to be the rotation. I think Asa's going to get, you know what I may actually do? Let's go 15 Asa. Let's put Wemby at the 4 and JQ at the 5. Wemby's going to get 38 minutes a night because off the bench, I don't really trust a lot of these guys. Like Javon Forrest was fine. Wesley Floyd, 32% from 3. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to play Ben Taylor, which allows us to have a 9-man rotation. We can go 13 minutes of these guys. We can go 17 to Newell. And let's go 37 to Harper and Castle. Let's do 37 to Wemby, or to Barnes. And we're going to play that starting 5 a ton. Let's see if we can beat Phoenix here in round number 1 and advance to round number 2. And we are going to beat them in 5 to take on the Pelicans, who I believe we lost to earlier in the year. And Wemby's going for that 3rd ring. We're taking on the Pelicans, Elijah Arenas, Brendan Lewis, Zion, Herb Jones, and Kaman Maliwatch, as well as Walker Kessler. And we are going to beat them in 6 to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves here in the conference finals. 26 points for Wemby, 21 for Scotty, 20 for Dylan Harper. Let's see what happens here. Can we get to the NBA finals? And we do! Oh my God, Wemby puts up 29, 10, and 5, 3.4 stocks a night. I'm pretty sure the Timberwolves just blew a 3-0 lead. They won game 1 by 7 in OT, beat us by 3, and then beat us by 4. So all of them were close. And then we win by 29 to 1. Oh my God, by 12. Okay, I'm really glad I didn't take that series by series. That would have taken years off my life, or I meant game by game. So Scotty Barnes actually averaged 20 points on good efficiency in the conference finals. All right, let's see what happens here. We're taking on the Spurs in the NBA Finals. LaMelo, Peterson, Jet, Pete, and so Ace and Miller off the bench. Like, this team is great. They beat us last year. Can we get revenge? They're up 2-0. Wow. Are we going to come back down 3-0? No, they sweep us. Okay. So the Charlotte Hornets own us in this video. Ty Wembanyama lost to the Hornets in 7. Damn, they beat us in 7 last year, and they swept us this year. That sucks. All right, so there goes Norman Powell. There goes Domantas Sabonis, Embiid, Pascal Siakam. I think Siakam's good enough for one more year left. I will usually override them if they're still in, like, the mid-80s. Like, DiVincenzo is in 82 at 33. He's still got a couple years left on his deal. We're going to bring him back. Wow, Doc Rivers ends up retiring. He ended up back on the Clippers. That's kind of hilarious. Embiid hits the Hall of Fame. And we do have the Lakers lottery pick here, which is going to be at number 12. That is from the De'Aaron Fox trade. The Wizards are going to get our first rounder there at 29. And the Bucks ended up winning the lottery. I think I'm going to keep Kenny Atkinson as my head coach. So Hugh White goes number 1 overall. A power forward out of Creighton looks pretty good. Also Jay Lawson, a small forward out of St. Mary's. Even like Pierre Servin to Toronto looks pretty good. So I got Barry Jeffries, a 6'5" point guard, 19 years old out of Oregon State. I like that pick at 12. Willis Bradley there at 48 also has some potential. And Reed Freeman Liberty there at 60. I don't think gonna sign him, which I know is a little messed up. So Tony Byer, do I want to bring him in? We will. $4 million could be used in a trade, but Miles and Towns, I'm gonna let walk. So yeah, JQ, I'm gonna try to get these guys back on short-term deals and then try to do some type of major trade. So let's go this. We're going to do about $105 million, 3-year extension for Scotty Barnes. And then we're going to see if JQ gets a deal, and I'm going to match it. And I'm going to go everything I can to Ty Wembanyama. I don't even know if it's going to be possible. Let's do a 3-year deal. Damn, 120 for a backup center is ridiculous. So we get him there. I think Wembanyama, the problem is he still may be on that rookie extension, so I can't really trade for him yet. $23 million. I mean, he's a 5-star talent. Like, I don't even think there's enough. Even this Nuggets pick, this Lakers pick, Spurs pick for Wemby. No. All right, so that may come with a JQ trade or a Scotty Barnes trade. I mean, we can financially hold on to this team for a little bit, but we're going to have some big decisions, and it might not be till Wemby gets that deal because he is somebody I'm definitely trying to target. All right, so Wemby is a 98, Castle's a 95, 92 to Harper and Barnes, 89 to JQ, like, so this is a good team, but I'm just waiting. Like, that's why I paid Scotty, because I want to see who Chicago likes more between Scotty and JQ when I go after Ty Wembanyama. Now I wish I went all out for him when they have the number 1 pick, because it's going to be tough to get him. So nobody to really re-sign, unless I think Wesley Floyd can really progress well, and we can try to lock him up on a nice extension right now. Let's do it. It's a little bit of a risk, but he's on a good trajectory right now. Wemby and Castle are free agents in 2 years. I have a feeling like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford Castle on that next deal. And yeah, he's winning MVP, so it's going to make it even tougher to trade for him. But yeah, Tyler Wembanyama looks pretty good. I'm getting him at least at 1 point here. And of course, Bryce James wins Rookie of the Year. He just got a 1-year extension. I believe that's just a qualifying offer. So Victor Wembanyama not on All-NBA first team. Could they not have put 2 guys there? Wait, Wemby didn't make an All-NBA team this year? That's insane. We did finish this year as the 3 seed. I'm kind of shocked Wemby just with his defense. And I don't know, unless he 18 points still. I feel like he should have made an All-NBA team. So this year, a lot of guys were getting involved. It was a little bit of a breakout year for Wesley Floyd, as he's now very efficient. And he's probably going to be a very involved wing for us going forward. We are taking on the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs, who have a good backcourt of Darius Cuff Jr. and Will Riley. Will Riley looks pretty good. DeAndre Hunter and Jeremy Sohan are together in Denver. That's kind of crazy. Jokic, Ivy, Collins, Alton Newman. That's a good team over there, especially they have a good bench. Let's see what happens in round number 1. We win, or game 1. We lose game 2 and 3. We lost in 7. All right, that sucks. Scotty Barnes had 29 points in the elimination game. But yeah, losing to a 6 seed kind of hurts after being in basically the conference finals or NBA finals every single year. And I'm about to watch Tyler Wembanyama snatch Victor Wembanyama's chain for the best player in the NBA. Maybe not just yet, as the Pelicans won it all. So shout out to Caden Boozer and Zion and Walker Kessler getting a ring. So Kyrie, Wiggins, Randall, all these guys end up retiring this year. Do I want to override any of these? I already overrode DiVincenzo's retirement. I mean, Kyrie's still pretty good, 89 overall, so we are going to override that. There goes Tibbs. He retires as well. Do I want to override his retirement? I will not do that, as AD heads to the Hall of Fame. He gets his jersey retired by the Pelicans, but not the Lakers, which is intriguing. So we could have another pick at number 12 from the Lakers, from that Fox trade. So hey, back-to-back number 12 overall picks. I do get my pick at 23. The Bucks get number 1 in back-to-back years. They're going to be good soon. So yeah, Wemby and Castle are in the last years of their deal. We can't really make a move for Tyler Wembanyama until after restricted free agency. So Jeff Hughes goes number 1. I thought it was going to be a little bit better. So I guess maybe the best pick was Clint Marshall there to the Miami Heat. We took Tyson Wallace at number 12, a center out of South Alabama. I almost said that with a country accent. We got Brooke Finley in the second round, as well as Chester Parks. Team player options, I'm going to pick it up on Herman Green and Willis Bradley. We're going to bring everybody back for now. Qualifying offers, I'm not going to give it to Tony Byard. So do we have any free agents? We do not. Yeah, let's just wait until Wemby signs a deal. And it's got to be so confusing hearing to Wemby. So he is now re-upped for a decent amount of money a year, $50 million. So let's start off with JQ. Let's also give them, I hope you have a little bit of money to spend, Herman Green. Let's also give you guys Ben Taylor, maybe. Like, would they do something like this? Probably not. I mean, I can only throw in so many first rounders. Let's see. Damn. So I don't think, unless they like Scotty Barnes a little bit more. Okay, Scotty does have some pretty good value here. Could we do Scotty? They say no. And AJ Mitchell. This is probably the best package I could do. Damn it. Unless I did, I mean, he's making $12 million a year, Taylor. I don't know if anybody else has more value. Like, does Asa Newell? Okay, he might. Would they do this? Damn, it's going to be impossible to get him. So maybe I'm not going to make an off-season trade, and it's going to be more like an in-season trade. I just want to get Ty Wembanyama, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. So we'll get the next best thing, Bol. And Paolo Banchero ended up signing with the Lakers, Şengün with the Cavs, Jabari Smith with Golden State. So here at play progression, Wemby goes down to a 97. All right, interesting. He's 27 years old. There's Stephon Castle at a 94. Dylan Harper at a 92. As I'm losing my voice, but Stephon Castle could get a payday next year. Because if I were going to look at guys that I need to re-sign for next year, we got to re-sign Wemby. All right, so we're going to lock him up for a lot of money long term. And I was able to bring back Stephon Castle and Wemby. Dylan Harper has a player option that we got to worry about. Ben Taylor wants a lot of money right now, and he hasn't really broken out for us yet. So maybe I'll actually make a move at the deadline. I actually have to cut 5 guys before their season starts. Chester Parks is going to be one. I think I'm going to cut. Brooke Finley was a first-round pick. I think I'm just going to cut non-first rounders. Bryce Hunt, definitely want to hold on to. Tyson Wallace, Tony Byard, I'm going to cut. And then maybe I'll just cut Bol. So that should be 5 guys. Nope, that is 16. Maybe I'll make a trade. So I'm going to trade AJ Mitchell to the Bucks for a 2032 first. I'm also going to get Rolando Ryan in this trade, who was a 32nd overall pick. We are going to release him. And I'm thinking for next offseason, we're going to incorporate some expansion teams. So we're going to add some Midwest teams. I'm going to add a team in St. Louis, and we're also going to add a team in Nashville. So yeah, these are going to be the next teams. We have a ton of talent right now, and it's just tough to find out who's going to be like part of our future plans, because I think we're going to have to make some tough decisions at the end of this year, but I do want to get at least a lot of those guys involved just to see what they can look like before they're going to hit the open market. All right, I want to see if I can trade Ben Taylor, who's not really having the best year in the world, but he's a former top 10 pick. Can I get a first-round pick? Okay, maybe not that first-round pick from the Boston Celtics. What about a 2035 first from the Washington Wizards? They are going to counter. I would have to give up Homer Ferguson, who hasn't really played yet, but I like that big man depth that we have on our team. I don't really want Scottie Pippen Jr., so I would swap first-round picks in this deal. We take a flyer on Dustin Moody, who hasn't really played yet, but is under team control, and then we're also getting Ben Shepherd in this deal. They're going to say no, and they want to do that Lakers first and Bryce Hunt for Scottie Pippen Jr. I don't really want to do that. I'm okay trading my picks, but I don't want to trade other teams' picks because I know we're going to be good every year. And Cameron Boozer wins MVP for the New York Knicks. Clint Marshall is your Rookie of the Year. Did struggle with his field goal percentage. Mikael Brown is your Sixth Man of the Year. Evan Mobley, D-Point. Dean Holton, Most Improved, who is currently a center, 18th overall pick. Pretty good one on the Warriors. And then you got Jace Richardson from Michigan State, who's kind of been a bucket since being the 29th overall pick. Oh my God, he hit his best percentile outcome. 94 overall. Are you kidding me? Kenny Atkinson did get Coach of the Year. I hate that we don't have the best Wembanyama anymore. Wemby's on All-NBA third team, All-Defensive first team. And we're taking on the Utah Jazz here in round number 1. We have a deep team. I do think this is actually going to be an active offseason. I didn't end up making any trades at the deadline because I always am like, you know what, I'd like to get some asset for some of my players before they're a free agent, but sometimes that's not always going to happen, and I should try to flip them before they're going to be free agents. So Ben Taylor is going to get 10 minutes a night. We're going to play Javon Forrest, who was the 5th overall pick in that 28 draft. He's really good. I'm going to go 20 minutes to him. Wesley Floyd will be re-signed. I'm going to give 20 minutes as well. JQ is going to get 18 minutes tonight. I might as well trade him in the offseason as well. Asa Newell, pretty good player under a good contract, 25 minutes. Let's go 36 to Wemby. Let's go 33 to Barnes. Let's go 36 to Castle. 36 to Dylan Harper, and then I have about 6 more minutes. We'll give it to Ben Taylor. Like, I'd like Barry Jeffries to crack the rotation at one point. We'll see about Homer Ferguson, and we'll see if we're able to beat the Utah Jazz, who I'm sure look a little bit different. They've added Anthony Black and VJ Edgecombe, Jay Will, Darian Reed, Jerry Morrison, Harwell, George, and Jess Lawson. Let's see what happens here in round number 1, and we are going to beat them in 5. All right, Wemby wants to be the best Wemby again. He drops 27, 12, and 6 with 5.5 stocks. We're taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have Anthony Edwards. I mean, what about if I just try to trade for Ant in the offseason? I don't know. We'll see. We are going to beat them in 7. It was close. We ended up winning by 7. Asa Newell with 21. Barnes, 17, 11, and 4. There's Wemby. There's Harper. Conference finals against the Golden State Warriors. Michael Morrison, Jabari Smith Jr., AJ Johnson, Brandon Burries. They got some notable guys that are on the circuit right now about to go to college. We should beat them, and we're going to beat them in 5. And we are back in the NBA Finals to take on the MVP, Cameron Boozer. Knicks versus Spurs. They've met in the finals before, although it was probably 30 years ago now. Brunson's coming off the bench because Rob Dillingham has taken his starting point guard spot in New York. We are down 2-1. We tied up 2-2. We win game number 5 by 7. Can we win in 6, or are we going to go to a game 7? We're going to a game 7. Cameron Boozer drops 29. Dash Daniels dropped 26. Here we go. Game 7 of the 2032 NBA Finals. This is the best part. I love a game 7 of the NBA Finals. You don't get them too often in 2K, so you want to win them. We're up by 1, 7.5 to go. We go on a little bit of a run, up by 7. They go on a run. We're only up by 2, up by 4. We're holding on for dear life, and we are going to win the 2032 Finals. Dylan Harper drops 31. Asa Newell with 26. Wemby with 22 and 11, and we get another ring. Victor Wembanyama showcases that he's the best Wemby out there, while Wembanyama was the 8th seed over there in the Eastern Conference. So we are going to take home our 3rd ring in this video. We did lose 2 finals. Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets really had our number in this video. So there goes Kyrie Irving. I think I overrided his retirement once, so I can't do it again. I'm not sure if I'm going to override any of these guys. I mean, Lonzo's still an 84. Yeah, I'm going to override Lonzo Ball's retirement. DeAndre Hunter, I don't think we're going to retire his jersey number, but he did help us get a ring. And Kyrie Irving heads to the Hall of Fame. We may have a lottery pick, which is going to be from the Milwaukee Bucks. I think there was a protection on it, so don't quote me. Of course, it goes from 10-1, so we're not going to get that pick. That's going to go back to Milwaukee. That's kind of a shame. We do own the 30th pick in the draft, which means we'll get a good, valuable pick next year. Is there like a franchise-altering prospect in this draft? Cody Black, 7-foot center out of Pittsburgh. Does look pretty good. Yeah, he would have been a nice player to add to this team. All right, I'm trying to trade JQ for Chet Holmgren, who I'd make my power forward going forward. I'm already offering 1 first-round pick. I'll give you this Lakers pick next year, which could have some value. They say no. So if I offered you 3 first-round picks on top of JQ, they're not moving him. So I was going to pivot to Evan Mobley. I am going to try Paolo Banchero. So we're going to try to get another number 1 overall pick. I assume they would prefer, okay, it doesn't really matter. Scotty Barnes for Paolo Banchero. They're going to say no. I will offer the Bucks pick. I will offer the Lakers pick as well. They're going to, I thought I was going to get a counter. And then my last person I will include will be Brooke Finley. Okay, they say no. And then I will throw in pick 30 as well as my 2033 first. They agree to that. All right, Paolo Banchero, you are a San Antonio Spur. That's who's going to be our power forward for at least the next 2 years. All right, I'm trying to get 5 first-round picks from the Brooklyn Nets for JQ. I don't know if they're going to be willing to do that, but they can absorb his $40 million salary. They're going to say no. All right, we'll take it down to 4 first-round picks. They're going to say yes to that. All right, so we picked up some draft capital for him long-term. We do have Tyson Wallace, who we drafted 12th overall out of South Alabama in 2031. We got plenty of bigs over here. I think Javon Forrest could end up being our starting small forward next year. We also have Wesley Floyd, who, if we wanted to move to that position as well. So we did have just 1 second-round pick. We took Rudolph Barrett, and yeah, there's that Cody Black player. Roy Gray out of Portland looks pretty good. Dylan Harper opts out. We want to pick up that, or we want to bring him back. I'm going to pick up the option on Herman Green, Barry Jeffries, and Homer Ferguson. Hopefully those guys will be cracking the rotation. I mean, Ben Taylor, if he comes back on the QO, that's fine, but I got other priorities right now. And we are going to bring back Dylan Harper, 4 years, $200 million. This guy's going to be like a billionaire by the time he retires. Damn, 2K kind of robbed me. I couldn't, I guess, afford some of their qualifying offers. I wanted to bring back Javon Forrest. That sucks. The 5th overall pick is now part of the Orlando Magic. Watch him win most improved. There's Barrymore, who we did have at one point. He is now on the Dallas Mavericks. I assume that the other guy ended up getting picked up. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. It was pretty common. It was, I don't know why I'm actually blanking on it. Maybe he's on our team? No. All right, I'll figure out who it was. But it was the guy as Wesley Floyd that was disappointing last year. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. There's too many new guys I'm trying to remember now. I'm going to try to lock up Herman Green before the season starts. He's going to say no to that. All right, I think we can get him on that. That's fine. Because Asa Newell wants $32 million. Probably can't afford that. All right, so let's figure out the rotation this year. I think Tyson Wallace can get some minutes. Homer Ferguson can finally get some minutes. Barry Jeffries is going to get some minutes. He's going to get around 15 a night. Wesley Floyd can get around 23 a night. 35 to Wemby. 35 to Paolo. They want to go Asa at the 3. I think I'd rather start Wesley Floyd there. Asa can get around 23 off the bench. 25 to Floyd. Let's go 36 to Castle, 36 to Harper, and let's go 36 to Wemby, Floyd, and or Floyd can get 26. Wemby and Paolo are going to get 36. We are 4.5-star pace and space, and we start off the season with a victory against the Pelicans and against the Lakers. We are going to hopefully start off the season 2-0, and that is not going to be the case. We ended up losing by 2, but a good start to the season nonetheless. So Ty Wembanyama shows up on us. He drops 28 versus 11. I love how this video is me just like turned into wanting to acquire this guy, but also wanting to show that we have the better Wembanyama on our team. Wemby puts up the most points he's had in a few years, still leading the NBA up there in rebounds, 6 assists. Career high, 1.8 steals, 2.5 blocks, highest it's been since 2027. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Javon Forrest, most improved player on Orlando. I knew he was going to be good. I wanted to re-sign him. I was going to let the other guy walk, who I still don't remember his name. I'm just going to rewatch the edit back of this video, and I'll figure it out. So we ended up as the 2 seed this year. We're going to be going up against the Pelicans in round number 1. We finished with a 7.5 point differential, a 53-29 record. The Warriors, 56-26. The Nets, same record over there in the Eastern Conference as they were the 1 seed. Taking a look here at scoring, as Dylan Harper was our number 2 scorer. And he also puts up the highest points he's had since 2030 and the second highest of his career. Wesley Floyd turns into an absolute sniper from Marquette, just knocking down threes left and right. Stephon Castle put up a career high in points this year as well. But I guess Paolo was going to take a little bit of a hit there. He is 30 years old. But he's still a good player. Going to play a lot more next year because Asa Newell I'm probably not going to be able to afford. There's Barry Jeffries, looks pretty good. Herman Green, fine 3-point shooter off the bench. And then there's Homer Ferguson and Tyson Wallace. So for the playoffs, I do think like Ferguson's going to get the backup 5 minutes. So I'm going to go 38 to Wemby. Let's go 38 to Paolo. 37, 37, 27. Let's do that. Taking on the Pelicans here, who have Zion still. They got Bub Carrington, Carter Bryant, Walker Kessler, Brendan Lewis, Mikael Brown Jr., a lot of guys you're familiar with, Charles Bassey and Patrick Williams. They took game 1. They actually pushed us to 7, but we do advance. We won by 31 points there in game number 7. We're taking on the Dallas Mavericks in round number 2. Dylan Harper's averaging 22, 7, and 8 throughout those 7 games. We're taking on Dallas, Battle of Texas here. They got Ben Serif and Jace Richardson, some 2025 draft guards. Still have Derek Lively. Hey, there's Barry Moore. They've kind of developed him, even though he's having a terrible playoff run. There's Brandon Miller. At the age of 30, Albert Little, Daniel Gafford is still there. Did he leave and come back? No, he has been there for a while now. Let's see who's going to advance to the conference finals. Oh, man, we got swept. That sucks. And I think just seeing these 2 teams play in like a meaningful playoff series, like, could have said this earlier in the video, makes me want to do like a historic rebuild back from like 2012, 2010, stuff like that. So that sucks. We just got swept by a team that's, I didn't think was that much better than us. So we are not going to defeat our crown. So we won it all last year. Our Wemby got finals MVP, but then Ty Wembanyama gets MVP. Oh, but he can't get the ring. Jace Richardson is your finals MVP. Wow, they lost in 7. They haven't gotten a ring yet. They have lost 2 finals in 3 years in 7 games. For some reason, they were a 1 seed last year. Forgot they got Luka Doncic. They've developed Montes to a pretty good power forward. Peyton Watson, Jordan Hawkins. Damn. There goes Giannis, who 38 years old. Still an 89. I'm going to override it. Jokic, he's a 92. I know he's not the player he used to be, but I'm going to override that. Booker's a 91. Going to override that. Can I only do 3? I mean, I'm going to override Kristaps. He still feels like he's a fine player. I don't know if there's like a max. Like, I'm going to do Murray. I mean, there's just so many guys now. Malik Monk, I'm going to override. Anunoby, I'll override. Lonzo, I already did. Nas Reed, I'm going to override. Because these guys also have a lot of money left on their deals. So who's going to the Hall of Fame? Nobody. But next year could be a loaded class between Giannis, Jokic, and Devin Booker. So draft lottery time. I mean, I do have that Nets pick. It's not going to be a lottery pick. So I'm pretty sure we gave up I thought we gave up oh no, we did give up the Lakers pick and it's number 1. Damn. That sucks. That was for Paolo Banchero. Incentivized the Lakers to get it back. We also gave them Milwaukee's pick, I believe, which ended up being number 8. So 2 top 10 picks for Paolo Banchero. I don't really know if that's aging all that well. And in this class, there's some good guys at the top, but I don't know if there's somebody as good as there was last year. We do have 16 and 28 via Washington and Brooklyn. So we took Rob Allen, a 6'5 wing out of Wyoming, and Donnie Law, a 6'8 big out of Duke. Ronald Dawkins in the second round, I'm going to throw on a 2-way. And the number 1 pick was Vince Simmons out of Kentucky to the Lakers. So Barry Jeffries picked that up. Tyson Wallace, Bryce Hunt, Rudolph Barrett, our second round pick last year. We're not going to pick that up. I'm going to try to bring back Homer Ferguson. Hopefully it's not too expensive of a deal. Asa Newell, $38 million. Yeah, he's gone. End of an era. I mean, he was a pretty good power forward for us. I will not lie. Nothing like superstar caliber, but a good rotational guy. But it is going to be an end of an era right there. And then I'm going to hope to get Homer Ferguson on maybe a Homer Town discount. It's going to be a 5-year deal worth $66 million. So here we are, play progression. Victor Wembanyama is a 98. I feel like every year I'm going to just try to see if I could trade for Ty Wembanyama. It's just impossible, though, when he becomes the best player in the NBA. Like, I can't get him. It's going to be impossible, even if I offer Stephon Castle, right? Not even going to get countered. I'm not even going to try Wemby, because why would I do that? I'm also going to bring back Barry Jeffries on a new extension, which could eventually make Dylan Harper expendable, or maybe Paolo or somebody like that, or Stephon Castle. He's not going to be making like groundbreaking money, like $25 million a year in the year 2033 isn't crazy. All right, so it's going to be the same rotation as last year. Barry Jeffries can get 18 minutes, same with Homer Ferguson. Herman Green can get around 18 minutes a night. We don't have Asa Newell anymore. I kind of want to go Rob Allen, who was my first round pick. I'm going to play him over Bryce Hunt, who was a former first round pick. I just don't know if I want another guard like that. So Rob Allen can get 10 minutes, 10 to Tyson Wallace, 18, 18, 18 there. Let's go 36 to Wemby. Let's go 35 to Paolo. And then let's go about 34 and 33 there as we're trying to get back and win a title as we ended up getting 5-star system proficiency yet again. All right, so Tyler Wembanyama, I mean, he might be better than Victor Wembanyama, which is making me sad. I mean, Wemby's the best defensive player in the NBA as of least. Wemby's back on All-NBA first team. I just need to get another ring. I mean, Tyler does not have a ring yet, which helps us out a little bit. And shout out to Dylan Harper on All-NBA third team. He saw us give Jeffries that extension. He's like, I'm going to have the best year of my career. As we did finish as the 3 seed here in the Western Conference with a Cuff and Riley, that backcourt over there in Denver developing around Jokic, who did not retire fully. I mean, that's helping them. Adu Thiaro coming off the bench, or Thiaro, excuse me. Here were the stats this year with Wemby leading the way. Paolo there as our number 3 scorer. Castle number 4. Wesley Floyd right there. And then that is the bench unit. I do like what we have right now, but if we have another like sweep exit, though, we could end up making some moves. So Rob Allen, gonna remove him from the rotation. We're gonna go 30 to Floyd, 38 to Wemby. Let's go 36 to Paolo, 36 to Castle, 36 to Harper. We're taking on Denver in round 1. Wemby versus Jokic. Let's retire Jokic. Let's go. We end up winning in 5. In Jokic's last playoff series of his career, we had 3 20-point per game scores, almost 4. Taking on Houston, I feel like we're always playing a Texas team here in round number 2. They have Darius Garland, Koa Pete, Amen Thompson, City Gay, Anthony Black. Where was he last year? Milwaukee. So let's see if we're able to beat the Rockets in advance of the conference finals. We beat the 7 seed in 6, and we're going up against the 5 seeded Mavericks, looking for revenge after knocking us out of the playoffs last year. I mean, I want Victor versus Tyler. Of course, Bryce James has developed into a pretty good scoring wing. That just was not happening here. I thought that name was Captain Morgan for a second. So Cavs, Bulls, let's see who's going to the finals. Bang, we sweep them. Damn it, I wanted to go up against Tyler Wembanyama, but the Cavs ended up winning in 6. They got Alperen Şengün there. They also have Khalil Ware on the team, okay? They got a lot of notable names there. They got Boogie Fland instead of Darius Garland, who was, I believe, in Houston. And yeah, Tyler Wembanyama could not get it done when it mattered the most. So can Wemby, our Wemby, the real Wemby, get a ring? This is like Carmelo Anthony versus LaMelo Ball, who the real Melo is. And we are going to win in 7. Let's go. Wemby gets another ring. Oh my God, did they blow a 3-1 lead? They blew us out in game 1. Game 2, we ended up winning by 6 in a defensive clinic. Game 3, we won by 1. We lose game 4 by a lot. Game 5, yeah, we were down, I believe 3 games to 2. And then we ended up winning in 7, thankfully, or maybe it wasn't that exact order. And that is Wemby's now what? 4th ring of his career, 2nd in 3 years. We had a little bit of a 3-year gap there, but we're back winning it all. There goes Miles Turner, Devin Booker, Kristaps. I don't think I'm going to renounce the rights, wow. Override any of these retirements. Maybe. Like I see Jaden McDaniels, still just 33. We're going to override that. I'm sure his shot tendency is so low. He's just not averaging any points whatsoever. And then, yeah, do we have any Spurs coaches retiring? We did. I don't think that's going to be Kenny Atkinson. It's going to be my assistant GM. And Devin Booker is heading to the Hall of Fame. So wait, did Jokic not retire? I overrided it last offseason, so I'm confused. And same with Giannis. So we do have Memphis's pick there at number 12, and that is not going to be the case, it looks like. We do own the Nets pick, I thought, yep, at 16 from the JQ trade. And Kenny Atkinson is a free agent, but we are going to re-sign him. He's been a good coach for us in the post-Pop era. All right, so yeah, every offseason I'm going to see if I can get him. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Paolo's a free agent. Like, I would offer Stephon Castle for him. Can we get that? And what about if I offered... I mean, he's like the best player in the NBA, so I should be willing to do that. I offered all of that. They say no. Unless Dylan Harper has 5 stars, we're not going to be able to pull this off. Nope. All right, so this draft, maybe not the best in the world, as Clay King maybe is not going to be the best player. Luke Curry, we took at 16. J.C. Gibson there at 30. And Radoslav Pavic there in the second round. Paolo Banchero opts out of his $61 million player option, so we'll see if we're able to retain him this offseason. And we are going to re-sign him on a 3-year deal worth $150 million. So Dylan Harper is a 92 overall now. He regresses a little bit, but I do like what our team is looking like, as we're trying to win our 5th ring in this video, which was my initial goal. So that was what? Just ring number 4, right? We've lost 2. But, so, we've been to 6 finals. And I'm giving Stephon Castle a 4-year deal worth around $200 million, that extension before the season starts. I had Wesley Floyd on a bargain. Probably not happening anymore. I'm going to try to bring back Tyson Wallace on a bargain. Just trying to get these guys before you got to overpay them in free agency. All right, so Cooper Flagg takes home MVP. I think that may be the first of his career. And he's had some other years where, honestly, he should have gotten that award. Edmund Boeheim, I don't think he's related to Jim Boeheim, wins Rookie of the Year. Roy Gray, who was the 2nd overall pick a few years ago, he's improving very well. Maybe he's better than that Cody guy who went ahead of him. Darren Peterson balling out, clutch player of the year there in Charlotte. It looks like Washington had themselves a very good year. Both Wembys ended up making All-NBA first team. And we finished as the 2 seed in the Western Conference. We're going up against the 7th seeded Clippers. They have AJ Storr, who, if you don't know him, I'm pretty sure he transferred every year of high school. And now he's transferring every single year of college basketball. And it's going to be on like his 4th or 5th college in 4 or 5 years, which is kind of impressive. Here are the standings of this team. A 6.4 point differential from the Spurs right there, as we are 53 and 29. And here are the stats with Wemby averaging 20 points. Powell right behind him with Castle, Harper, Floyd, Jeffries got involved, and Herman Green, as Floyd is going to be a free agent this offseason. Something we're going to have to keep an eye on, as that may have to, unfortunately, be like a sign and trade. I just don't think I can afford to give him $30+ million. Let's make sure Castle gets a ton, Harper gets a ton, and let's ride here into the playoffs. Let's beat the Clippers and let's defend our crown. It feels like it's been an every other year thing with us, so I'm hoping that we can win it all, and for, I believe, the first time, win back-to-back rings, right? Like, we ended up winning it, in 26 and 28, and then we won in 32 and 34. So if the trend continues, that means we're going 3 years without a ring. We're taking on Golden State here in the conference semifinals that have a pretty good team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us, but I guess that it wasn't going to happen at all, as we ended up sweeping them, and we're taking on the 1-seeded Timberwolves in the conference finals, led by no other but Anthony Edwards, and they got Liam McNeely, Noah Essengay, and Bryce James is over there as well. I feel like he's been bouncing from team to team basically ever since he left us. You have Washington and Cleveland over there in the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like this is the year for the Wizards, but you never know what can happen. As the Bulls, come on, man. I need you to trade Tyler Wembanyama. They ended up making it to the playoffs as the 7th seed, but lost in round 1. Are we going to be back in the NBA Finals? Yes, we will. We end up winning in 6. And our Wemby showcasing why he's the best Wemby. We're going up against the number 1 pick from the 25 draft versus the number 1 pick from the 2023 draft. Let's see who's going to come out on top. And it's going to be the Washington Wizards. They end up sweeping us. So that is our 3rd finals loss. Like I said, it did feel like it was going to be the year of the Washington Wizards. And that is unfortunate. There goes Giannis. There goes Cat, who's got 1 year left on his deal. But he doesn't look that great anymore. Tatum, I'll let him come back. Brandon Ingram, free agent. I'll let him come back as well. A lot of guys are retiring. Definitely an end of a sad era now. So, loaded Hall of Fame class. 3 guys, Giannis, Jokic, and Karl-Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson does not make it, but gets his jersey retired by the Knicks, which I feel like that will happen one day. And we do own Brooklyn and Memphis's picks here at 19 and at 23. So, let's see. Did the Bulls re-sign Tyler Wembanyama? Yes, they did. So, it's probably going to be still impossible to trade for him. Like, do you value Harper, Paolo, or Castle? Okay, it looks like they value Paolo a lot. Like, I'll give you Paolo, 19, 23, 25. I don't even know if I could throw in any other players in this deal. I don't really want to throw in Homer Ferguson. J.C. Gibson has no value. I mean, if Homer Ferguson gets it done, or Herman Green, can we do this? What about, I don't know if you could take another player. Like, I'm trying to get this deal done. Damn it. This is a pretty good offer, if we're being honest. Like, if I removed these assets, and I throw in this first, and this is a really good deal, and maybe it's not going to ever go through. Damn. All right, so I'm going to be making a trade with the Indiana Pacers. I don't know if I can get a first-round pick out of it, but can I get basically a 2-for-1? I'm going to get Benedict Mathurin and Jarris Walker, and hopefully a first-round pick for Paolo Banchero. They're going to say no to that. I do not really want Michael Ruzic. So the initial trade was basically Paolo for those two. They say no. Because there was another offer that I liked, and it was from the Warriors. I could get Jabari Smith Jr. and AJ Johnson. I would have to include pick 19. It's just I gotta trade him to Golden State. Trade him in the conference. It's gonna hurt, but I do think that's a better return. So I ended up getting not De'Aaron Fox, but Darren Fox there, a point guard out of UMass there at 20. Peja Jeremic, and then we ended up getting Terrence Howard. Shout out, what was he? Rhodey in the first Iron Man. Rob Allen, we're gonna pick up that option. Donnie Law, and we'll Povich as well as Bryce Hunt. He might come back on the qualifying offer. I doubt he's getting a real deal out there. Some loaded 2026 guys and 2025 guys in their prime. There's JQ. How is he in Brooklyn? So he actually left after the first year and has been bouncing around right now. See, this is what happens when I do these videos. I keep forgetting. Wow, it's really been a couple years too since I added those expansion teams, and I forgot to add them in the league meetings. Wesley Floyd, I may not be able to afford you. Bryce Hunt, I'm definitely not affording you. All right, so hopefully I'll remember for next offseason to add the expansion teams. All right, so I can give Wesley Floyd a 2-year deal. That was the most I could do. And I'm going to give Dylan Harper a 3-year, $180 million extension. And then I'm going to try to bring back Herman Green on a 3-year deal as well. That's going to be very favorable to us. I do need to release 3 players before the season starts. So sorry, Rhodey. Sorry, Pavic. And I think Peja Jeremic, former first rounder, JC Gibson, former first rounder. I'm just going to have to release some of these guys. I think it's going to be JC Gibson, who was the 30th overall pick in the past. All right, so let me not be stupid, and let me actually remember to add these expansion teams. So Wemby gets a MVP for the first time in a little bit. He definitely got a couple earlier, or just one, actually. First MVP in 9 years, in 2027, now in 2036, as a 32-year-old. So him and Tower are both on All-NBA first team. I just want them to play together at one point in their careers. We finished the season as a 4 seed, which is our lowest seeding in a while. And they've replaced, I forget who their guard was. I don't think it was Boogie Fland. I forgot who it was. But either way, they replaced that person with Tyrese Halliburton. And they've come on my watch there at the 5 because it's no longer Nikola Jokic, who is retired in the Hall of Fame. So we are 49-33 with a 4.7 point differential. Let's see if we're able to get past the Denver Nuggets. If we have a first round exit, that would kind of stink. So the 8-seeded Thunder actually beat the 1-seeded Warriors for us, so I don't have to go up against Paolo Banchero in round number 2. This Thunder team still has Shea, still have Chet. Oh, they have an old friend. Scotty Barnes is over there now at 34. How many big men do they need? They have Chet, Roy Gray, Alex Sarr, Asar Thompson. Oh, I have a feeling they're going to beat us. That is a good team. And we're going to win in 5, those to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So we've gone to 2 straight finals. Hopefully, it's going to be 3, right? We've gone to 4, or 3 to the last 4. We're trying to go to 4 to the last 5. Here we go. Can we beat the Timberwolves? No, we get swept. That sucks. Damn, I feel like a lot of our playoff exits in this video have been sweeps, and the Minnesota Timberwolves swept the Orlando Magic, a team that I haven't really talked about a lot in this video, to win the NBA Finals. There goes Brandon Ingram. There goes Bam Adebayo. There goes Eric Spoelstra and Mike Malone. And yes, I'm going to remember to add 2 teams to the league, so we will have an expansion draft. We are going to add the Nashville Stars to the Southeast. The Wizards will go to the Atlantic. The Thunderbirds, I feel like, should go in the Southwest. And then I'm debating, or do I throw them like in the Northwest? I mean, it's kind of weird, but let's just do it anyway. So the Lakers get the number 1 overall pick. I feel like they've been bad for a while now, as we just own 1 first rounder in this draft. They're at 25. So let's protect some players. Obviously, I'm going to protect Stephon Castle. I am not going to protect Rob Allen. I would also like to protect Wesley Floyd. And I guess I'm not going to be able to protect everybody here, which kind of sucks. So instead of, let's just do these guys. And I'm probably going to lose Herman Green or Homer Ferguson. Or, actually, I think we can keep, I'd like to keep Ferguson for the positional value. Damn it. Can I? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to lose somebody important. Ja Morant wasn't kept. J-Dub. Let's see who we're going to end up losing, and it is going to be Homer Ferguson. That sucks. All right, so we ended up with Peter Barber here out of UConn with the 25th overall pick, and Alan Cunningham does not look bad whatsoever. May have found a diamond in the rough out of UCF there at 55, or that would maybe now be 57. Going to pick up the option on Donnie Law, Rob Allen, and former first rounder Luke Curry. Shea and Reese Shea are free agents. Damn, Shea's 38 years old. It's going to be an end of an era when he retires here, which is going to be very soon. Cameron Boozer is a free agent. We don't really have much cap space, as that's been the moral of the story. I'd like to re-sign my guys, but I wonder, Castle's 31, Harper's 30. Do we try to get a little bit younger around Wemby? Both these guys are under control for 3 more years. There's a new extension for Wemby I'm going to have to get done soon. I may trade Wesley Floyd because he's making a ton of money. All right, so Wemby starts to regress a little bit down to a 98, which I think he might have been before. Castle's starting to regress. There is Jabari Smith Jr. regressing as well. And let's give Wemby a massive 5-year, $300 million extension. Yeah, he's going to be a billionaire. I also signed Rob Allen to a deal around $25 million per year. Hopefully he is a wing that can eventually break out for us, because I'm not sure if like AJ Johnson, Jabari Smith Jr. are going to eventually get extensions from us. I do feel like I should probably move Floyd. Maybe that's going to happen before the season starts. And he's given us some good years, don't get me wrong, 9 years into this. So I'm actually going to trade Wesley Floyd to the Thunder and Peja Jeremic for Alex Sarr, who is under contract. He's probably only going to be 1 year here, but a lot of the offers I got for Wesley Floyd were just a 1-year deal. And I wanted somebody that I could bring into the 30, whatever offseason next one that I could potentially move. And we're going to get a first in this deal as well. Pretty good backup center upgrade, I'd say. So Tyler Wembanyama gets another MVP to his resume. He definitely has more than Victor Wembanyama. He's got 4 in his career. I think Wemby, has 2 or 3. Matthew Richards is your rookie of the year, the #1 overall pick in the 2036 draft. Looks like a big, or he's a center and looks like a really good first overall pick. It's cool. He went to school at USC and then goes to the Lakers. Kasperi Shakuchonis, 6th man of the year. He's bounced around on a bunch of teams since being drafted. City Gay Depoy, okay, over there in St. Louis, and they get Chuck Beasley most improved. Cameron Boozer left the Knicks actually 2 off seasons ago to sign with the Jazz and then sign with the Pistons. We did get Victor Wembanyama on All-NBA second team still, and or all defensive first team. All right, here we go. Round number 1 against the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a good team. They got Josh Giddey. They got Jacob Taylor. Here were the stats this year. Pretty good team still, and Rob Allen broke out. How did he not win most improved? Which is really encouraging. Barry Jeffries looks pretty good, and maybe this is going to be a new era around Wemby. Maybe we look to move Dylan Harper in the offseason. Maybe we look to move Stephon Castle. Maybe we have the successors to those guys already on the team. So let's see if we can beat the grit and grind Grizzlies and get out of round number 1. That is going to be the case. We end up winning in 6. We're going to be taking on the Pelicans here in round number 2. Rob Allen. Man, I am very happy I didn't trade him last offseason. I almost did. And he has turned into a very efficient scorer. So taking on the Pelicans, who have Ben Taylor. Oh, that's the guy I forgot his name. Ben Taylor. That's who I let go. He's pretty good. Nothing too special, though. And then Lenny Bass there at the 5 spot. Looks really good. Former 8th overall pick out of MSU. And we are going to beat them in 6. So we've won the first 2 series in 6. The Chicago Bulls are not in the conference finals. So I don't know if we're ever going to get a Victor versus Tyler Wembanyama NBA Finals, as the Bulls, wow, we're pretty bad. Ty Wembanyama's got to ask out. And we are going to beat the Clippers in 5. Victor Wembanyama, Western Conference Finals MVP. Liam McNeely, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He's been a Raptor, Grizzly, Timberwolf, and a Brooklyn Net. The Clippers were led by Nolan Traore, Elijah Arenas, Rasheer Fleming, Derek Queen, Derek Whitehead. A lot of notable names, and Caleb Wilson off the bench. So here we go. Bryce James. I mean, he's bounced around on so many teams, but he's a good player. They got Roy Gray, who was a former top pick in the draft, number 2. Oh, yeah, he was on the Thunder and left. But they got Joe White, who looks really good. 6'5" wing out of Kansas. Are we able to beat them and get another ring to our resume? No. Damn. All right. Bryce James against us. We were the team that drafted him, and then, 10 years or so later, he ends up getting Finals MVP against us. That is brutal. So now we have 4 Finals losses in this video. 2037, 35, 30, and 29. And we do have 4 rings. So we could have had as many as 8 right now. There goes Jaylen Brown, Jaren Jackson Jr., Daniel Gafford, Devin Vassell. Jonathan Kuminga retired as well. A lot of notable names are retiring now. And Jaylen Brown heads to the Hall of Fame. We do have the 11th overall pick via OKC. They did not make the playoffs last year. That is from the Floyd trade. I mean, I'm just going to try it every offseason. Can I trade away Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle for Tyler Wembanyama? The Bulls would take on too much money with this deal. I mean, they don't really have a bad contract. Like, no way I'm going to get them to ever do this, I feel like. Yeah, he's still untouchable, and I get it. He is the best player in the NBA. All right, so I think I'm going to make a massive trade this offseason. I'm going to finally trade away Dylan Harper. He's given us 12 years here in San Antonio. I'm going to trade him and Tyson Wallace for Jacoby Walter, but I'm getting Cody Black, Coach of the Year Black, and he is one of the best young big men in the league. And then I'm going to be trading away Alex Sarr, who gave us a good year of backup center play, for Bill Ellis Jr., former undrafted wing out of California. They're from Denver. And then I'm also getting Malcolm Hodges, who was a former first-round pick in this deal. We ended up getting Gilbert Carl there at 11 via OKC, Kevin George there at 30. And then we ended up getting Edwin Morris there at, I guess that'd be 62. We're going to pick up the team options on everybody here just to have these assets going forward. Maybe Cody Black I could trade one day for Tyler Wembanyama. We'll see. But I'm excited about that. And yes, that means we are going to move Wemby into the 4 spot. So basically our rotation going into next year's season, Barry Jeffries, who we drafted 12th overall, is going to get the starting point guard nod. AJ Johnson backing him up. We're going to have Castle, Ellis, and some other guys there on the perimeter, with Rob Allen starting as well. Herman Green, who's been here for a minute. And then you got Jabari Smith Jr. coming off the bench, who I may actually move right now. But we got Wemby at the 4 and Cody Black, Coach of the Year Black, at the 5. Actually, I'm going to see how much I can get him back on an extension before I move him. All right, so Wemby is a 98. Cody Black is a 94. Jeffries is a 90. Stephon Castle regressing a little bit, which is kind of sad to see. So if I were going to re-sign like Johnson and Green, well, let's re-sign Jeffries first. Yeah, like Johnson doesn't really want a lot of money, so I'll give him a 2-year extension. How much does Jabari Smith want? Not that much either. So 2-year extension it is. I do need to release 4 guys before the season starts. So I think Edwin Morris is going to get released. I mean, I don't really want to release Kevin George. Alan Cunningham, I mean, is he going to have a spot on this team? He's a free agent next year. I think I'm going to release him. I just don't think Jacoby Walter is going to play for us, so I'm going to release him. And then I have to release one more guy. I guess it's going to be Luke Curry, a former first-round pick that hasn't really worked out for us. And in some way, shape, or form, I'm going to edit these minutes a little bit, but it's going to be Wemby at the 4, Black at the 5, who can also space the floor very well. So I may actually go him at the 4, Wemby at the 5, definitely Allen at the 3, Jeffers at the 1, and Castle at the 2. So Tyler Wembanyama ends up getting MVP this year. Art Wagner is your Rookie of the Year, the St. Louis Thunderbirds. He wasn't super efficient this year. Drake Powell ends up 6th Man of the Year. Cooper Flagg gets Depoy. I'm glad he got his ring throughout this. AJ DeBansa is still really good. He was drafted by the Suns originally, now playing in the Big Apple. There's Dylan Harper on All-NBA first team after no longer being on the Spurs. I guess that makes sense. But we are the 1 seed in the Western Conference. We're going up against the Utah Jazz in round 1, a team that I feel like we haven't played a lot in this video. And VJ Edgecombe has been there for now 13 years. I got Thomas Sorber, Scotty Barnes, who spent, we know, a decent amount of time here in San Antonio. He's been bouncing around ever since. And here are the stats this year, with Wemby leading the show, followed by Rob Allen, Cody Black, Barry Jeffries, and Stephon Castle. So for this rotation, I actually didn't mind Bill Ellis at all this year, but I don't know if he's going to crack the rotation, because Donnie Watt is going to be the backup big. We know that. I think he's going to get about 15 minutes. Honestly, we may just go like a little bit light to the bench with Herman Green, AJ Johnson, Jabari Smith Jr., and Donnie Law. Let's go 37 to Wemby. Let's go 35 to Black. Let's go 35 to Rob Allen. Let's go about 33 to Castle. We're going to go about 37 to Jeffries, and maybe we'll do 36 to Castle. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what happens here in round number 1 against the Jazz. We actually lost game 1. We lost 2 games against them, but we do end up winning in 6. Jeffries and Allen combining for 43 points, so maybe Wemby's not the top scorer on this team. Going up against the Lakers, you got Dean Holton. Looks really good, and they moved Matthew Richards to the bench. Not sure if I would have did that. That would have stunted his development, I feel like. And we are going to beat them in 5 to go up against the other LA team, the LA Clippers. We had 4 20-point-per-game scorers there in the semifinals, taking on the Clippers here in the conference finals. They still have that backcourt. They got Derek Queen there at the 5. They have Deion Nash there at the 3. He looks pretty good. And we are going to beat them in 6. Rob Allen. Wow, the 16th overall pick out of Wyoming. He's our Josh Allen. Has been on a tear in the playoffs. 25 points, 6.5 assists, 54% from the field, 51 from 3, 91% from the free throw line. Is he the best shooter in NBA history with the last name Allen? And we're going up against the Brooklyn Nets again, looking for revenge. Damn, Tyler Wembanyama, ask out of Chicago. They didn't even make it to the play-in tournament. We lost game 1. We lost game 2. Oh my God, man. We make it to the finals, but then we get gentlemen swept. That is our 5th finals loss. I'm 4-5 in the finals now in this rebuild. That is insane. And there goes Kenny Atkinson. All right, so we're going to have one last coach throughout this. Shea, Tatum, and Halliburton head to the Hall of Fame. So who is my next head coach going to be? I don't even know who's going to be available, who hasn't retired. We could offer Will Hardy a deal. Billy Donovan's, he's got to be like 80 years old now. Probably not 80, but he's definitely getting up there. Honestly, not many real coaches, so I'm just going to pick up Will Hardy. So we end up getting Wes Daniels here, a 6'10 big out of New Mexico State, and Desmond Henderson in the second round. Darren Fox and Peter Barber, we're going to pick up those options. Loads of guys, loads of talent there hitting free agency. I'm going to give Donnie Wall the qualifying offer. I believe we should be able to afford him to bring him back. I would also like to bring back Bill Ellis as well. All right, in order to bring back Donnie Wall, I need to free up some money. So I'm going to trade Herman Green to the Golden State Warriors for 2 future first-round picks. End of an era there. He did give us a lot of good playing time. So I'm going to try to bring back Donnie Wall now, which I can. All right, so player progression. Wemby is still a 98. Stephon Castle starting to regress. This might be the last good year we get out of him. And I don't even know if I want to give Stephon Castle an extension, depending on how much money he is looking for. So Stephon Castle, $20 million. I mean, I may as well just give him that. Yeah, we could do $40 million for 2 years into your mid-30s. And I do need to release somebody before the season starts. It's probably going to be Desmond Henderson. But yeah, I also wanted to see Donnie Wall. He came out of Duke in that 2020 or 2033 draft. He's been a nice find for us. I'm really kind of should have won most improved last year as well. All right, so Gilbert Arenas' son, Elijah Arenas, takes home an MVP this year. Everett Bonner ends up getting, wow, shout out to Air Force, Rookie of the Year. Dylan Harper is now coming off the bench in Milwaukee. And Tyler Wembanyama, not even mentioned on the first 3 All-NBA teams. All right, maybe this is the offseason that we can acquire him. Wemby's still a top 5 defender. Wait, I didn't even realize we were the 8th seed. Oh my God, we were 40 and 42. Okay, well, this is a little bit of an end of an era. Everybody around us is getting better. Wow, we are actually in the playing tournament. That is kind of insane. Rob Allen was our leading scorer. Oh man, that is kind of scary. Jabari Smith Jr. is kind of just trash now. Are we gonna lose in the playing tournament? So we lost the first leg. Are we gonna make it out of it? Okay, we do. So we're the 8th seed going up against Minnesota. I mean, yeah, maybe Will Hardy, not a good coach. They do have a former Spur on their team. JQ, glad he's found a home. He bounced around a little bit after his time here in San Antonio. Can we pull off the upset? Okay, we're up 2-1, 3-1. Let's go. 8th seed, it does not matter. We still have life. All right, we're taking on the Warriors here in the conference finals, and I believe I just traded them Herman Green, who has been fine for them, but I got 2 first-round picks out of it. Can we upset them and go to the conference finals? Okay, we're a playing tournament team, and we're here in the conference finals going up against the other playing tournament team that we lost to in the first leg, the Memphis Grizzlies. So you have a 7 versus 8 matchup here. Can we go back to the NBA Finals? Let's do it. Oh, we lost in 6. Damn. All right, so Jacob Taylor, Western Conference Finals MVP. Pretty good ball player, I'll tell you that, out of Florida State. There's Elijah Arenas, who got MVP, but is not going to get Finals MVP in the same year. That goes to Jacob Taylor of the 8th-seeded Grizzlies. So there goes Luka. There goes Ja. They end up retiring. Not sure how many more years of Wemby that I got left. Ja and Luka head to the Hall of Fame. Luka gets his jersey retired by the Mavericks and the Bulls. I still think it's going to be impossible to trade for Ty Wembanyama, which is kind of a shame. I don't know if I can include anybody else because they also have some financial restrictions. I mean, could we do something like this? I will include pick 17. I will include pick or that first rounder. I will give you 4 first-round picks and 2 players for Ty. Come on. All right, so I'm going to be making a tough trade here. Jabari Smith Jr., but also Stephon Castle, who's been here for 15 years. Kind of crazy. Since he's been 19, he's 34 now. We're getting a 2040 first, and we're getting Grant McDaniels, who is a former 54th overall pick back in 2029, but a good big man nonetheless. And I need a shooting guard, so I'm going to trade away A.J. Johnson, Wes Daniels, 17, and a second rounder for a future first-round pick, and Rubens Covington from Brazil, 6'6" wing over there in Brooklyn. All right, so Wemby does regress a little bit, but at 35 years old, he's still a 97 overall. So yeah, this team is looking different over time. Barry Jeffries as the starting point guard, Rubens Covington starting shooting guard, Rob Allen at the 3. We're going to have Cody Black at the 4, Wemby at the 5, with Donnie Wall, Graham McDaniels, Bill Ellis, and Darren Fox off the bench. Yeah, this team is different. So yeah, Matthew Richards is back in the starting lineup, and he wins MVP for the Lakers this year. Shout out to Jeremiah Fears getting on All-NBA first team for the Thunderbirds this late in his career. Tyler Wembanyama back on the All-NBA teams, but no Victor Wembanyama. Wemby's still a top 5 defender in the sport. We ended out as the 3 seed this year in the Western Conference. We went 47-35 with a 3.9 point differential. And hey, honestly, last year we lost the first leg of a playing tournament game. We were the 8th seed and we still made it to the conference finals. I am convinced with Wemby on our team, we can win it all every single year. But Wemby is regressing a little bit, which scares me. And I wonder how many years he does have left at a high level. He's 36. We're taking on the Pelicans in round number 1, and we do end up almost blowing a 3-0 lead. They actually pushed us to a game 7, but we were able to survive and advance. That's pretty embarrassing. I can't lie, blowing a 3-0 lead. So we're taking on Denver in round 2. Nolan Traore, Will Riley. I'm not saying his name. I'm not saying it. Yeah, I guess Steve Kerr's son also has somebody that shares the same name as him. AJ DeBanza is also there in Denver. Edmund Boeheim is there also in Denver. Nick Smith Jr. Sent in from, well, I believe he transferred maybe to St. John's from Arizona State. And we are going to end up losing in 5. Okay. So I don't want to go out like this. I don't. The league is getting better around us. And of course, there's Tyler Wembanyama, who gets the first ring of his career. Wow. In 2040, he averages 26, 8, and 5. And he gets finals MVP. We see LaMelo and Franz Paulo, a former Spur, all retire. So a couple former number 1 overall picks there. And Cade, LaMelo, Paulo all retire. So we're pretty much, I think, going on year number 15, or that just was year number 15. So I guess we're going to be doing like Wemby's whole career at this point. We might as well. Whoa! Indiana may give me the number 1 pick. I think that's from the Castle trade. Please. Oh my God. Of course it drops to number 5. That sucks. All right. So I'm going to be acquiring Louis Armstrong, a 6'3" guard or wing from Wichita State, balling out in Atlanta. I'm also getting Dante Malone in this deal as well, a backup point guard for pick 4 and coach of the year Black. We're going to do it. I got to switch up this team somehow. And that's going to be step number 1. So we still had some draft picks. I got Maurice Alexander there at 22, Will Trent in the second round, and Dale Ward there also in the second round. Here was the number 1 overall pick. We traded away that 5th overall pick. I'm fine with that. Let's pick up these options. And this could end up being Wemby's last year of his career. I don't know. Can Wemby, Armstrong, Barry Jeffries, Rob Allen get a ring? I think they can. All right, so I do want to re-sign Rob Allen on a 4-year extension. Rubens Covington, I'm going to bring back on a 3-year deal. Wemby would resign, but let's just hold off on that for now. And we're going to have Jeffries, Armstrong, Allen, Donnie Law, and Wemby be the starting 5. Covington, Ellis, Malone, and Carl can all get minutes off the bench. Then there's a little bit of a drop-off after those guys, and you also have Kevin George in there, who hasn't really been a notable impact player for us since we drafted him. I do want to go about 30 minutes to Law. I want to definitely go like 35 to Allen. 35 to Armstrong. That's good with me. So Roman Kozlov of the Nashville Stars dropping 33 a night out of Ukraine is your MVP. Wemby, hey, that age 37 depoy, man. That's what like basically Draymond Green is trying to get this year as coach of the year Black on All-NBA first team. Yeah, I mean, when you come here to San Antonio, you're second fiddle to Wemby. Your numbers are going to look better when you're a number 1 outside of here. And we're still a competitive team, don't get me wrong. Like, we were the 4 seed here in the Western Conference. We did have the best point differential, though, in the Western Conference, which I think is pretty interesting since we were not a top 3 seed. All right, I think Armstrong, I mean, that looks like a really good pickup. Yeah, this guy is an absolute dog. All right, here goes nothing. Taking on the LA Clippers, who have Elliot Day. I thought for a second that should have been Elliot Kiddo, but that is not the case. Please make it out of round 1. Okay, we do. We end up winning in 6. We're taking on the Sacramento Kings, who are a 1 seed. Shout out to Sacramento becoming relevant again here in the year 2042, 2041. Trey Johnson still balling out at 35. Come on, my watch. Balling out. Asa Newell, former San Antonio Spur. Glad he's found consistent homes here in the NBA. But we are going to beat them in 5 to go up against the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that eliminated us from the conference finals a few years ago. They got Jacob Taylor, a 99 overall. This dude is a beast. Let's make it to the NBA finals, please, please. No! Come on! We were 1 game away from getting a Wemby versus Wemby conference or NBA finals. Oh, I guess we're never going to get it. That sucks. And Jacob Taylor and the Grizzlies win it all. Tyler Wembanyama cannot get ring number 2. That sucks. There goes Jabari Smith Jr. He retires. So I'm going to say this is going to be the last year of this rebuild. It's Wemby's last year on this contract. Let's go out with a bang. I want to win it all in the final season. So we had the 12th overall pick in this draft from a trade. Let me show you guys where it was from. The Golden State Warriors from that Herman trade. And then we also got Terry Wade there at 24. And then Joe Jamison in the second round. J. Jonah Jameson, basically. So Elijah Arenas is going to be a free agent. We're going to offer some qualifying offers. Can I sign some, all right, like Dante Malone, I'll bring back on a 2-year deal. Stephon Castle, can I bring you in on a 2-year deal? Bring you back for one last run at things. Homer Ferguson, I want you back on a 1-year deal. It's funny that like the minimum is now $5 million. Can we get the gang back together? Let's see. Malone, we re-sign. Can I bring in Castle and Ferguson, please? Let's go. Wemby regresses a little bit. So does a lot of people. But I do think we could win it all. We were 1 game away from going to the NBA Finals in 2041. Let's win it all in 2042. All right, so we're approaching the final year deadline of 2042. And I'm wondering if I should make a win now move because we're just a few games above 500. I wonder if Wemby's going to retire at the end of the year. And here's a trade I'm going to be making at the deadline. I'm trading away Barry Jeffries, who has been here from or for 11 years. Out of Oregon State, 12th overall pick back in 2030. I do have to move Rubens Covington in this deal. We're getting Jaden Kemp, but I'm getting Elliott Day. He's 6'1", but the dude is a bucket. 6 rebounds, 9 assists a night. Hopefully that can put us over the top. So Roman Kozlov ends up winning MVP. Stefan Linderman ends up winning Rookie of the Year. The next Luka, or I guess the next Dirk, he is German. There to Dallas. Chuck Humphrey, 6 Man of the Year. Wemby gets one last depoy. Ah, man, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. Let's try to go all the way. I'm not too concerned about being a 7 seed. We've been a 7 seed in the past, going into the play-in tournament, actually losing the first game, and we could still make a run. So let's see what this rotation is going to look like. Kevin George is not going to play for us, but I don't really love Jaden Kemp either. So maybe it will be George to get, like, I don't know, 15 minutes a night. Dante Malone, yeah, like the bench got a little bit weak throughout this, unfortunately. Is there somebody I'm missing? I don't know if I want to put Homer Ferguson in there. And Stephon Castle, like 2K just cut him. They didn't even tell me that. Like, that was really weird. But we're going to go, honestly, a lot of minutes to these guys. We're going to go 38 to Wemby. I want to go 40 to Day. Actually, no, 40 to Armstrong, 39, 37 to Allen, 33 to Donnie Wall. Let's do this. Let's beat the Suns. All right, so we're the 7th seed going up against the Denver Nuggets here. Don't go out in round number 1 in the final year. We're up 3-1. See, I'm not worried about being a 7th seed. I'm not, because we're going to end up in the conference finals. Okay, we get gentlemen swept. Oh, man. So I never got Tyler Wembanyama. I never got the Wemby versus Wemby NBA finals, unfortunately. The Miami Heat ended up winning in 7. And Jonathan Henry is your finals MVP. And yeah, that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this very long Victor Wembanyama rebuild of the San Antonio Spurs. It was basically 20 years at this point. We ended up losing 5 NBA titles. 5. Like that sucks a lot. We ended up losing in, I guess we didn't go back since 2038. We lost back-to-back ones there in 38 and 37. We lost in 35, and then we lost back-to-back in 29 and 30, and we did win 4. Wemby got a finals MVP, or he got 2, I should say. He got all 4, actually. 34, 32, 28, and 2026. Wemby now holds the most points in a game, 51. Or no, it's in a playoff game, excuse me. In a season, I don't know if you could see this until, like, they officially retire. I don't know. The Bant's still in the league, so I guess not. So Wemby never had, like, the most total points in a year, which I find that a little bit hard to believe, but I guess he's up there in 3-pointers made. Louis Armstrong, yeah, it's just the way the NBA has gone. Free throws made, like, I'm surprised nobody has topped that. Wemby's there 3rd in rebounds. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you do enjoy the longer rebuilds, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and what long rebuild you'd like to see next. I'll catch you guys in that one. Peace.